hummingbird
Yeah. What do they go for in your?
No, we don't know yet.
Okay.
We just noticed it the other day. He was flying by our bedroom
now. Yeah, birdie came and bugged the
window
heck
on
out of
top.
Yeah, I like hummingbirds.
Birdies do we have now?
Do you have any trumpet flower plants?
Not sure.
'Cause I know they love those. They like to drink out of those, but I'm not sure what else to go after.
How long can they fly? Because they just stay in place for a long time sometimes.
I'm not really sure, actually.
That must take a lot of energy. They're the Harrier jet of birds.
That's why they need to drink nectar. It's basically pure sugar, because that's what they need.
Just like a Harrier jet.
They
You don't
just
wanna
keep.
have a
Yeah.
hummingbird?
Did you know Harriers need like 130 gallons or more of water just to allow that without burning out the
Yeah.
engines?
You sure you don't want a hummingbird feeder for your mom?
We could. She'll like that. She'll put it in. She'll put the stuff in. And by the time you're done, you'll have 80 crows and, I don't know, maybe not. I guess we could.
A mini version of what they do with the rocket launches with all the water.
Yeah.
I'm afraid that Hamilton will gain 50 pounds with you.
No, he won't.
That'd be
I will.
diabetic.
I will make sure of that.
To feed him apple pie.
No, no, she's going to have some severe restrictions on that.
It's just talk.
No, we're not going to go there. So no one yet?
No one yet, and we're not.
Nobody yet?
Yet.
And we are at,
Isn't it great? People always wait till.
what are we, about 5 to 9?
About
3 minutes
3
still?
3 minutes to? Okay. Am I on the C200 or am I on the X?
I
Yes.
should put you on the other one, sorry. There, yeah.
Okay.
So it's just a bear.
So
Just
come here,
you,
come.
what you
Oh,
doing?
we'll be very careful when you go past
No,
that.
no, I'm gonna stay here.
Okay. Well, you saw what it
Do
looked
a
like.
Bear studio thing?
Hmm?
Is he just gonna do a bear studio thing?
Yeah.
That's what we did last time. Just
The only thing behind that is a bare wall, so what does it matter?
So wait a minute, how are you gonna do? You just gonna zoom in on him and so?
No, we're not zooming in on me. It's just we have two cameras, that one and this one.
No, but you're just gonna show.
That's
the
full screen, full shot from head to toe, and that one is more from about waist up.
Are you gonna use your green screen?
No, I'm not going to take it down.
All right.
it gives a contrast for us, so we
Yeah.
just show it as green. Usually.
All right.
And my Martian hue comes out. My mom told me the other day, "You're an alien. You're not really from here."
Because he doesn't have anxiety and hysteria.
She said, "You don't worry about anything." I go, "I worry a lot about things. I just don't let it get to me."
That's another thing. She doesn't worry about anything either.
She
What do you
does.
worry?
She does. She just talks a big game. All right. Well, we're about to start, so thank you. Okay, and I'm not muted, right?
No, I unmuted.
Okay. So how's the levels? Check, check. Hi, everyone. Check, check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Yeah, we're about 1 and 6, so we should be good.
Okay. Hi, I'm Rick Zanotti. In case anybody's there, we are going live. Well, actually, we're live, but we're going to start the event in about 2 minutes. We're waiting for Richard Mieir-King to open up his Zoom room, and then he'll be on Zoom, and we're streaming this live on YouTube.
That just reminded me, should I put the Lytra on the 705 instead?
No, I'm good. I can see it there. I just kind of geared light, boom. I could actually see it right
Yeah.
there. It just at first I thought it was something else like a bag, and I want to make sure I'm looking at the right thing.
Yeah.
And I can see the legs too. So
All right, looks like they're opening now, so now it's letting us.
okay, so the Zoom meeting is opening up. We should be in Zoom shortly.
Oh, it let us go in, but we're still waiting.
By the way, if you want to be on mic, also you should be.
Yeah.
So if you want to interrupt or say something, because I'm suspecting some people may ask questions and we may not hear it well. Maybe you can let us know.
How you doing?
Hey, Rich.
Good, good. Hi, Rick. How are you?
Hi, how's it going?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Now, is that Rich or no?
Yeah, I'm right here. How you doing, Rick?
You are there, because I'm not looking at there. I'm looking at our TV's over here, so when I look at the camera, I don't see anything. So I'm well. How about you?
Good. I'm in the waiting room right now, so you can't see me yet.
Oh, that's why I don't see. I see. Yeah. Okay.
Are Actually, Rick, I should be putting out this Zoom NDI to your monitor there, right? So you can actually see them.
Sure.
You probably see my ceiling in the garage.
Are you in the garage?
Yeah,
You
I
were
set my
outdoors last
garage.
time, I think, right?
I was on the patio last night,
That's what I thought. There you are.
and then I was getting eaten up by mosquitoes, so I thought I had to get out of the patio and get in the garage.
So we got 9 o'clock. Anybody in yet?
I don't have any on the
We've
stream.
got Ray Mortallone here.
Hey, Ray.
How you been?
Good. How about you?
Good, good. I had stem cells done on my knees and been through about, I guess, 3 months, and they're getting better.
That's what
Things are
Richard
getting
had
better.
done too. It really works. I guess they say as long as you go to a good guy, it works well.
Hmm.
You know, I sent Ray to the guy that did me.
Oh, that's good. Okay. What did you have, Ray?
I had stem cells in both my knees, but I had arthritis in one of the legs, and
Uh,
the other leg had like a torn ligament.
yeah.
And the stretching is getting better, and it doesn't feels better and everything too.
That's great. Modern
So I'm done
science.
with the therapy now. I'm kind of on my own, and it's pretty good. The gyms are opening now too, so they have the
Yeah.
pools and the jacuzzis open now. So that's pretty good therapy too, I think.
That's good. Yeah, arthritis just happens. There's not much you can do about that. Even if you stay in great shape and move around, it just sometimes happens.
Yeah,
And the knees get a lot of beating throughout our lives.
yeah. Try different shoes and different, knee braces and stuff. Keep on dabbling around with different stuff, see what works better.
I found that some of the best, for example, tennis shoes or just that kind of shoe, I get New Balances. The
Mm.
New Balance are orthopedically pretty good. They're a little wider, a little longer. They're not bad.
Hmm.
Rick, is there
Yeah,
one-
sometimes they're a little bit wider too, and that's what I kind of had a problem. I was getting shoes, my Pacific size, uh, and I was getting like calluses on
Oh,
my
right.
feet.
Yeah.
So I kind of opened it up, and so I think next time when I buy another new pair, I'm going to go just a little bit bigger, half
Yeah,
size
they've got like
bigger.
what they call 2Es and 4Es. I think I get a 4E, but I may only need a 2 nowadays. I'm not sure.
Yeah, right. Or even go to the wider size. Yeah.
Is it alright if I go get a notepad just in case I need it?
Oh, sure.
But I'll be right back.
Oh, we'll have Leslie. You want Leslie to get it for you?
Uh,
Oh, you can go ahead.
yeah, we're back.
So, Rich, so we've also got this going live on YouTube and Facebook.
Really? Wow.
So we're on
getting
YouTube right
around.
now. On YouTube, it's youtube.com/relatecorp, RELATECORP. And no, I'm sorry. On YouTube, it's Relatecast, RELATECASTS.
Yeah.
I think I sent
Yeah.
that one to you last night. But we also went live on YouTube, which is facebook.com/relatecorp, RELATECORP at one word. So we're on both of those right now, and we've also got the Zoom thing going here. So that way we can bring other people. If anybody wants to come and just see it, they can just show up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
That's
think
great.
I have a friend of mine who lives in Argentina who's going to come today. I think he's going to try to get in.
All right. Nice.
He was a student of mine 41 years ago.
Wow.
Long time.
What a trip. What a trip. I was listening to you talk one day. You're very fluent in Spanish, it seems, too.
In Spanish I was talking?
Yeah, no, you were, we had some people at one of our live classes, one of our live events,
Yeah.
and you were talking, maybe it was Hector, I don't know, but you were talking to somebody in Spanish, and
Oh,
I was
interesting.
like,
Okay. I
wow,
don't remember who I
he's
was
very
talking to.
fluent. You're very
I'm
fluent.
fairly bilingual. My writing isn't as good as it could be, but I can read, write, but definitely I can talk. And they all laugh because they go, "You have a Yankee accent." Uh-huh. Somebody come
No,
in?
you do good. You sound,
Did we just get somebody coming in?
Yeah, looks like it.
So
Lorenzo?
Tish and Richard, are you there? I'm gonna check in and see if Tish and Richard are there. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I think they're getting set up. Good, good. So these are a couple of students of mine. Tish and Richard, this is Rick Zanotti. You can see him with the green screen behind him.
Yes.
He
Hi.
is a
Hi, Tish. And Rich.
he is a
Hi.
Kung Fu and a Tai Chi instructor. He has some of similar background as me. One of his teachers was a student under Ark Wong, correct?
Yep,
Ralph
I'm Animal.
Shun. And you had some others too. You had some other Kung Fu teachers, I believe.
Cam Ewan, Johnny So, YC Jang, Professor YC Jang. Let's see, YC Jang passed away. Cam Ewan, I think, retired. And Johnny So, I think, also retired. We're all getting old.
I may be getting older, but I
can
refuse
hear
to grow
okay.
up.
But I'm older than Richard, so
Yeah.
I think I've got, what, 5 years on you?
And he's had some really good Tai Chi instructors as well.
Oh, I also, yeah, for
He's
Tai
going-
Chi, I learned actually Tai Chi with all of the ones above mentioned, and then I also learned with Wen Mei Yu, who was, I think she's retired too. She's probably in her 80s right now. She was very good. I had a pneumonia about 27 years ago, and I felt I needed a different approach to Tai Chi, and she taught Wu style, which is very good for the health, and it was good. Within a month, I was almost back to normal, and then I worked out with her I took private lessons with her for about 6-7 months on Wu style. I enjoyed it. It was good. In fact, we're going to talk a little bit about some of that in what we do today. Not necessarily Wu style, but how you can mix some styles up.
Yeah, I know that instructor, it had some Wu in it as well.
Can you bring up the volume up just a tad? Can you hear us okay?
It's a really good thing.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, great. Excuse me.
Yeah, the Tai Chi and the Qi Kong all were so good health.
So did you want to start, Richard?
Sure. You want me to introduce? Oh, I did introduce you. Didn't. Do you want me to start stretching stuff?
Oh, if you want, or I can do it, or however you feel like.
I'm open. I can give these guys. Usually I sit them on the floor and we do stretches, but I'm going to do something a little different. I'll give you guys stretches standing up. How does that sound?
Yeah, that sounds good.
I'm gonna take. Okay, good. I was gonna say I'm
Need
gonna
any
assume
help
from your
moving that
silence that
couch?
sounds good.
Need any help moving that couch?
Yeah, you want to come to the scene?
We had our stadium seating all set up here.
Yeah. It's a recliner, so it's very heavy. It's a recliner.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So when you
it's actually very
when you
heavy.
get tired, you can just collapse.
We can recline.
You just collapse back into the couch, right? Just fall
That was
backwards.
the plan. If it got to be too much.
All right. So we'll start off. What we'll do is we do this. I keep changing my screen so that, well, that's okay. I'll leave it right there. What we'll do is we're going to do a different kind of stretch. We're going to start our stretches off standing. And we'll start off, we're just going to stretch up. And then push the hips forward, arch the back like you're drawing a bow. And straighten back up.
And while Richard is teaching, Sifu Richard Mieir-King is currently teaching, doing a warm-up for everybody. So we are starting the event right now, and I think we're calling this what, Tai Chi Chuan for longevity and health.
It's Tai Chi, Chi Kung, Kung Fu. I like that part though. For longevity and health. I like that. Let's call it that, Rick.
I got it from him. Didn't you put that on the email you sent me? I thought so. It was late at night, so I think that's what you
Is
said.
that what I put?
I liked it too.
Yeah,
Uh,
but you know what? Probably you're right. It was late at night. I was going to send it earlier, but as I was sitting at the keyboard, I dozed off.
Oh, that's funny. I've done that many times.
So
So anyway,
probably
welcome to the event. We're going to be running till about noon, maybe a little bit later. And so let's see, for Richard is now starting out just to warm people up a little bit, and then we will continue with myself, and then Ryan Steele will be on. He'll be also teaching. Oh, and by the way, Richard, for anybody watching now or who are coming into this, it will also be, we're streaming live on YouTube at youtube.com/relatecast, RELATECASTS. We're also streaming live on Facebook at facebook.com/relatecorp, RELATECORP. And this will also be up as a video, so we'll be sending Rich a copy so that he can put it on his website or directly link to the YouTube if he wants. So we'll have this all up for years to come. So we have the one from last year already up, and this one will also be up, so you'll have something to either refresh or look at whenever you feel like it. Okay, thanks.
That's great, Rick. I was going to ask if there would be a video, and so you already answered that. So now in this leg that's stretched out here, let's go on to the heel and point the toe at the ceiling. Now, if you're in the same position I am, if you're on your left leg and you've got your right leg extended, bring your left arm inside of your right leg and fan your hand out to push against the leg to open your hip up a little bit more. And then you can take the right hand and reach out to the right leg, even go out to the toe if you can. If not, go to your knee, your shin, go out to wherever you're able to go, wherever you're comfortable going. Yeah, because I'm on my left leg. This is the leg. This is the leg I got my stem cell injection in. Working really good. All right, we're going to shift over now. Let's drop onto the right leg, extend the left leg, or do whatever leg you were not doing previously. And we'll bring our right arm inside of this leg that we've got our weight on. Reach out with the hand to open the hip up a little bit more. And we can point the left toe at the ceiling. We've got the left hand on either the knee, or you can stretch out to the shin. And if you can reach all the way out to the toe. Hey, Rick, so people who are watching on Facebook and YouTube, can they comment?
They can.
They can? Oh.
They can. Yeah, I think there's a chat box up, right?
Make some comments. It'll be
Yep.
interesting to see what people
Yeah,
say.
I don't think we have anybody yet. At least not quite yet. But if they can definitely comment.
All right. So, and you know what? Maybe I don't know. Well, maybe I'll talk to you about this when we're chatting alone. But I have a feeling next year we'll be able to do this live.
That'll be good.
Yeah. And I was just thinking too, maybe we can stream it. Maybe we can stream it even though it's live.
Oh, we could. Yeah, that could definitely be done.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Our phones can
All
stream.
right. Let's come up to a standing position here. Now, I'm going to let you guys self-moderate how far out you want to go into this. You know, just don't get stuck because we're just getting started, so we don't want you to get stuck. I didn't warm up, so I'm a little bit tight. Okay, let's sit back. All right, I'm gonna trust you guys are all sitting back now. What we'll do is we'll pull the soles of the feet together. We'll lace the fingers together and lock them under the feet. Pull the feet up close. Lean forward, pulling the head down towards the feet. Slide the hands up to the knees and push down on the knees. Okay, and let's come up and see how far back we can sit, sitting on the heels. So I'm going to turn this way and show you guys something. This is the knee that I had fixed, that I had stem cell injection in. And a lot of people were telling me, oh, we'll give you just enough range of motion. See, my leg had locked. I only had this much flexation. I could bend my knee this much. It totally locked up on me. And so they were telling me, oh, we're going to give you enough range of motion. I'm a little OCD, so when they said enough, that sent all kinds of red lights and warning bells and flags going up. Enough, what's enough, right? So he says, well, enough so that when you walk, it looks normal, and enough so that you can drive your car. And that wasn't good enough. That wasn't a good enough for me. And so between him being a good surgeon and cleaning stuff up, and also getting the stem cell injection and having really good therapy, the leg goes all the way back now, and I can sit on the floor, and as you can see, my foot is up to the side, almost up to my, I mean, here's my waistband, so it's like maybe 2 inches away from my waist. So I have more than enough range of motion now.
That's actually pretty amazing.
Yeah, I'm a believer in if you have a goal and you have a target and you see what you want to get, as long as you give yourself enough time and you're patient and you lean into it, you should get there.
Well, you know,
I really believe
a lot of the doctors aren't used to working with athletes. They work with either older people or people who just aren't all that active. So they go, I'll give you a little less motion. And the athlete's about ready to
Yeah.
have a heart attack, and the other person goes, okay. And so they're used to doing minimal because that's the kind of patient they usually have.
Right. And you know, the doctor that I had, he said to me at one point, I said, I want to get back to Tai Chi and Kung Fu.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, well, swimming is good exercise too.
Mm.
And I said, no, I like to
No.
swim, but I'm not going to do that as a substitute.
Yeah.
And what he ended up doing is, besides a very conservative chondroplasty, he did something called a microfracture.
Mm.
And I thought, what in the heck is a microfracture? Well, apparently, I guess, and this probably this guy was a real orthopedic surgeon nerd. he knew a lot of stuff. And so what he did is he drilled a lot of teeny holes in the bone surface so that blood would come out on the surface of the bone, because cartilage is not avascular. That's why it doesn't regrow. And so the goal was to create blood on the bone so that cartilage would form. And then later I had the stem cell injection, and I actually read an article later after that that said microfracture and stem cell injections work better when done together.
That makes
So
sense. Yeah.
it all worked out.
That's great.
And I can go back to the ground as well. So I got what I wanted. Got my range of motion back. I'm still obsessing on it, so that works out. That's good. Sometimes obsessing on things can work out. Okay, so let's come up to this position. I want to stretch a really good muscle, the psoas muscle or the hip flexors. So we're going to reach out with the left leg. I'm on my right knee, and we're going to push in on the hip right here. And this will stretch out the hip flexors. The hip flexors can be really tight muscles. If we sit a lot, they will shorten. That's a lot of times why a person goes to get up and you see them straighten up slowly and they're going, you know, it's because their hip flexors are tight.
We used to call those the hip locks.
What was that? Hip locks?
We used to call them hip locks.
Oh, this stretch?
Yeah, no, just the hip flexor. A lot of people just
the
have hip locks on. It's hard to get the locks open.
Yeah, exactly. Hip locks. Yeah, and when you get them stretched out, it feels so good when you move, you know? So let's go to the other side. We'll go on to kneel on the left knee, put the left foot or the right foot out. We'll push in on this side. I figured I will show you guys maybe 50, 20 minutes of the which in a robe form, but it is 0 to very, very minimal impact. Probably won't do the whole thing, but I'll give you part of it. And I'll give you some exercises with batons. I've done this with seniors, and the seniors love swinging those sticks around. I think my seniors are a little violent. Okay. Now let's also do this. You can do this to the extent that you're comfortable doing it. We're going to slide out on the, we'll extend the right leg now. And we'll start sliding out on it. We didn't do this on the other side, but we'll go back to the other side and see how far you get on this as well. And again, I'm not warmed up. I can usually go a few inches further. All right, let's come out of that. And we don't want the other side to be jealous. So let's turn around to the other side and make sure that it gets some equal time. You extend that left leg, we're on the right knee. And you just slide out to where you're comfortable or where you have your least degree of discomfort, I guess. We'll come back out of that position, and let's come up into a squat, or as close to a squat as you can get. Belt, so you can see we're not having the feet together. We've got the feet open a bit, as flat as possible. Bring the hands down, so that your fingers are on the floor. You can kind of push back into it. If you're loose enough, you can reach back here and get a hold of your feet. Just hold the position. You can rock from side to side. Forward and back. Okay, we'll bring elbows up to the knees and we'll start to push up all the way up to a standing position. That and holding horse stances. I was doing a lot of horse stances in a class one time. And at the end of the session, I had one. I always like to tell the story, but I never tell who said it to me, just to protect the innocent. But I had a person come to me at the end of the class and say, I really love those horse stances. And usually people don't like it, right? And I said, well, good, that's great. And the guy says, yeah, I've never been so regular in my whole life. So I guess it does correspond to the colon. I said, oh, okay, well, that's nice. And he's kind of like moved on real quick. So what I'm going to do now is give you guys part of form, introduce you to part of form. And we always called it the rhythm one because it's done at a particular cadence. And that cadence can be changed. It can be dialed down, so you're going really slow. You can do the form with isometrics or dynamic tension, or it can be dialed up so that you're doing the form faster. And so when we're doing it fast, we can be getting aerobic exercise. We can be getting cardiovascular. When we slow it down and we do it with dynamic tension, then we're getting anaerobic exercise. We're getting muscle tone and we're working different aspects of the body. So I like the exercise because it's variable. You can change it up and get different things from it. So we're going to do it slow and not necessarily dynamic tension, but we're going to do it slow and soft so you can see what moves are. We might speed it up a little bit so you can experience some of the cardiovascular benefits of the form. But you'll also see that the form is minimal to maybe zero impact. And for me, I have something called hypermobility syndrome. All of my joints, you see my fingers here, how they're bend back. All of my joints are like that. And some people will go, "Oh, cool, you're flexible." Well, it's not so much flexibility; it's instability. So I work very hard keeping my joints stable. That's why good mechanics is important to me. Is because if I do something with bad mechanics, it might hurt that thing. And I've learned that experience. So the first thing I'm going to show you is the stepping. The stepping pattern to this is very simple. For the most part, you'll be moving left and right. Sometimes you'll be moving forward. It's done just as I said. You do one side, you do the other side. So the form is practiced bilaterally. You do a little bit. You move to the left, then you move to the right. You move to the left, and you're doing this in cadence. So we're going to start off with just the legs. The step is we're just going to step out to the side, back together. Step out to the opposite side, back together. So we drop into a horse stance, and then we step to attention. Step out to a horse stance, and then step to attention. So this is just to get you familiar with the idea that we're moving left, right, all the time. We're moving left, right. And as you can see, you don't need a big space to do this in. If you have limited space, if you can step to the left and you can step to the right, you've got enough room. Okay. So now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add another movement to the leg step. And that other movement is I'm going to be flexing my legs. I'm going to be pumping my legs. And the Chinese, as I was taught, considered the thighs the quadriceps. They considered them like the second heart. So lividity is always pulling the blood down. So when we get the legs working, it helps circulate. It helps pump the blood back up. So we're having it coming up into the body, down into the legs, up into the body, so it's circulating fully. So we're going to get that leg pumping action going. So we're going to step out. As I step out here, we're going to flex 1, 2, 3, together is 4. Do the same thing on the right side. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Repeat. I want you guys count in your head. As I started doing this back when I was like 13, 14 years old. So I have counted to 4 many, many times. So I'm kind of tired of counting to 4. So I'm going to watch you guys a little bit while you do this. You might feel that in the legs. It might be really warming the legs up a little bit. Very good. Good job. Yeah. You guys have rhythm. You can dance.
I was just thinking, when you play the ukulele, you go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and the
Yeah.
and motion is one, like the strum is an up strum, and
Uh-huh.
the single count is a down strum, and it's almost like doing the same thing with the leg action.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny because I play the guitar a little bit. So, in all musical notation, you've got 4 whole notes, right? So this is perfectly geared towards, musical notation. You've got, your 4 counts, 1, 2, 3, 4, or you can go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. If you're, putting a half note in there. So very good, very good. If you understand music and stuff, you'll really relate to this too. So how's that feeling for you guys?
Feels good. I just got to make sure I don't bend my
All
back.
right.
Just make sure I squat down straight down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if I did this from the side, see if I just did this, the leg flexing, if I did it from the side here, see, we're just going straight up and down. It's like a merry-go-round horse. It's just going up and down, not leaning or bending anything. Just keeping that spine straight as we go up and down. We want to keep everything mechanically correct. If you move into some kind of bad alignment, that's where you can get an injury. That's in my opinion, that's kind of a problem with working to exhaustion sometimes. Sometimes people work to exhaustion, but I think when you start to work to exhaustion, you start to lose, maybe you start to lose your mechanics. Maybe your mechanics go, and when they do, then maybe you might have an accident. You can get close to it, but don't go beyond that. Sometimes crashes in the bloodstream. Yeah, we've had people who were diabetic, and when they did this, it dropped their blood sugar really fast. So you got to be careful, if you're diabetic. But exercise, I think, has been proven is good for diabetes. Some people have reduced or eliminated medicine by increasing their exercise. Exercise is on the top of the list with drinking water. Yeah, Gene says it's on the top of the list with drinking water. Now I'm going to give you some hand movements to put in with the, because right now all you're doing just rudimentary. Okay, so we're going to start layering, as I like to refer to it, layering things in. We're going to layer in some more stuff. We're going to layer in some upper body work. So as I step out right here, I'm going to bring the arms up like this. So like I'm making muscles. And then what I'm doing is push my fist straight up to the ceiling like I'm trying to punch the ceiling. And then I pull down and I push straight out to the sides. And then I step together. Same thing on the other side. Get myself centered here. I want to make sure I'm not going off camera. So now that I stepped out to the left, we always start to the left. Now then we step out to the right. So we step out and we go 1, 2, pull down, 3, 4, together. 1, punch to the ceiling, 2, 3, pull down and punch to the walls, 4, together. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we repeat this one. 2, 3, 4. Now, if I turn sideways, just show you from the side, how the goal of where your hands and arms should be from this axis is, and I'll show modifications. But what we're trying to do when we step out here like this, as I'm in this position, as I'm in this position, and as I'm into this position, I want to have my arms as much as possible lined up with my ears. Now, if that hurts your shoulder, if you have shoulder problems, there's ways to modify this. So I can bring my hands up here. I don't have to pull way back. I can have them right here. And I can punch up like this, down to the sides, and then together. So just know, and I've had some people who had bad shoulder problems. So all they could do is they could pull to here, punch straight ahead, pull back and down. So they came up here. This was 1, 2, 3, and 4, or 1. They had it all shoulder level. So it was like 1, 2, 3, 4. So I don't think any of you are quite like that, but just know that you can be anywhere from here up to here as you're doing this, okay? So let's keep that going. So we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know about other instruments, but you know, when you start off, you're like playing a note, picking a string. And you might do some real simple picking techniques just to get used to that 4 count, right? So that's what this is. This is a 4 count. You don't have to go fast yet, but you could. This is, you know, looking at different ways of playing this. It could be done. So you're going for a little bit more speed. If you are not doing cardio, maybe you're doing resistance or dynamic tension. So as you come up, you can be resisting with your muscles. And then as you push up, resisting with your muscles, dynamic tension, resistance, and then pull back down. So this adds a little something different to it. And then push out to the walls and step together. So see, you can add different things to it. You can tweak it around, make it give you different things. You can get dynamic tension, you can get cardiovascular. So keep on running that, keep it going at this pace. I want you to do it at this pace because I want you to learn it. This is a good speed for you to get your body used to doing it and to burn it into your muscle memory and burn it into your mind. Okay, and I'm going to watch you guys. Good. Perfect cadence. That's what I want you guys to do. How does that feel for you guys?
Yeah, I can feel the
Alright.
shoulders now.
You can feel your shoulders? Are they there?
Yeah.
Good job. Yeah, appreciate those throwing those thumbs up at me so I can see. Good job. So now I'll give you another section of this, okay? This one, we stepped out here. And the interesting thing about all of this stuff, it doesn't matter what it is. A lot of this stuff has its origins, interestingly, in martial arts. And you will see it in this. There would be ways of using what we just did. There's all kinds of applications that can be assigned to those movements. And I'm mentioning all of this because the next one that we do, I think, especially Ray, because I've had you in Kung Fu for a number of years, I think you will see how it's a martial technique. It's a block with 2 punches. And so what we're going to do, I'm going to do it going this way to start. I'm going to do one this way, and then I'm going to turn to the side and do it towards the camera so you can see. So as I step out to the left here, this hand comes right here, the right hand chambers. This left hand is going to sweep around like I'm opening a curtain. Okay, hold that thought. I have to let somebody in. Hang on just a minute. I got to drop into the waiting room. Okay. So we have Amanda joining us. Hi, Amanda. Oh, there she is. She probably didn't hear me. Hi, Amanda.
Good morning. Sorry, I was
How are
muted.
you doing?
Doing well.
Good. Well, we just did a little stretch out, and we're doing a part of a form called the rhythm form right now. It is a form that's really cool. I'll be backing up to go through what we've done so far. We've only done a couple of positions in it, but the rhythm form is it's named the rhythm form because it's being done at a cadence, a certain rhythm,
Okay.
and you can speed the rhythm up or you can slow that rhythm down. You can also play the form aerobically. You can get aerobic work out of it. You can also slow it down and do it with dynamic tension and get anaerobic exercise from it. So right now we're going into the second position. And so just jump in and join us on the second one, and I'll be backing up and showing what we've done so far. Also, I don't know if Rick's here. Yeah, I think he's there.
I'm here.
Yeah. Oh, okay. He's live streaming this on YouTube and Facebook, and he will also have a replay posted, a recording of the workout posted. So you guys will all be able to go back and refer to that for what we are doing. And also, once again, I want to point out, I probably won't do the whole form because I want to do a few different things. I want to do this and one other thing. I picked this because this is a really good form to work you out, to make you move. If you do this right, you'll get little to no impact on your body, and you'll be sweating. You'll be breathing hard. Okay. So the second position that we're doing right now is we're going to step to the left each time we begin moving to the left, the heart side. So we step out. The right hand chambers, the left hand comes up here, and I'm going to sweep my arm out in a circle. It's like I'm parting a curtain. Now then from right here, I punch with the right hand. I pull the left hand back to the waist. I punch with the left hand. And then I step back together. Okay. Now I'm going to do it towards the camera. I step out. I'm chambering that right hand, which you can't see. I've got that left hand right here. it makes a nice circle and it comes around like this. I pull that hand to the waist and I punch with the right, and I punch with the left, and then I step back together. So that's a block and 2 punches. So let's try that really slow. We step out here, we bend out, block, we pull that left and back, we punch with right, punch with the left, step to that side in. Step out, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we got our 4 count right there. We step out and block, 1, punch, 2, punch, 3, 4, step back together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Step out and block, punch, punch, together. Okay, do that one side over and over, and then we'll do the other side. Good. Yeah, there you go. I like it when you guys are doing good. I like it when you have one side really good, because then you can turn it into a mind exercise. That's to figure out the mirror image of it. Shouldn't be hard to do. You know, we stepped out here, we did this side, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So now I'm just going to do the mirror of it, right? I step out here on the other side. Now my left hand is chambered. This hand is holding a cup right here. I open the curtain to the right now. Then I punch left, and I punch right, and back together. Let me alternate left to right. 1, 2, 3, 4. The other side. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. How's that? Feel pretty good with that? Good. Very good. Good job. Looks like you guys are doing good. You just see that person to the side there that cut you off on the freeway yesterday, or see your boss, or see whoever it is. We'll ask no questions. We'll tell no lies. We won't ask who you're smacking. Now, one of the things I'm going to do with this form is I'm going to jump a little bit out of sequence. It has a sequence. You go through it and you do certain exercises in a sequence. And but I want, since I'm not going to do the whole thing, I'm going to pull a few out, so that if you never do any other of the form, if you never learn the form, you'll have to fall back on. But you can get the whole form, and I'll either do it on one side or a DVD. There's a lot of benefit in doing the whole thing, because it works all aspects of the body. But I'm going to give you another one now. This is one I really like, because people want something that will burn calories. I always say kicking burns calories. So this next exercise I'm going to give you, we're going to do a kick. All right. I'll show you what we're going to do. It's pretty simple. I will do it facing the camera, and then I'll do it sideways so that you can see it from 2 different angles. Make sure I got room back here, because this time, instead of moving left and right, I'm going to move backwards a little bit. I'm going to move back with my left foot, starting again on our left side. So I'm going to reach back here. with my left foot, and I'm going to bring my hands up high. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to swing my left foot up and slap it with my hands, and then put it back, and then step together. So we got the 4 count again. I'm going to turn sideways so that you see we reach back with the foot and we shoot the hands up. 1, 2, put the foot back. 3 and 4. Sideways again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, just doing one leg. So that's pretty simple, right? So you guys do that. And you guys are going to shoot your leg up as high as you're comfortable kicking up. Good, good. Keep on going. And you can coordinate your breath with this too. You never want to hold your breath. If you're holding your breath, you're killing your stamina. So make sure your breath is moving. It will increase your stamina. So as I reach back, 1, you can inhale, exhale, inhale, together. Inhale, exhale, inhale, together. We can alternate legs now because I think this is pretty simple. I'm going to face the camera again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And repeat. Good job. Now, normally, as you're doing this, you would be stepping straight back, straight on a line. But what I found teaching different people this, because sometimes people, excuse me, sometimes people have balance issues. And so sometimes I found stepping straight back on a line, sometimes they're wobbling around. So here's a solution I found to that, and that is to step off at a slight angle. Now my base is a little bit wider. Okay. The goal, though, is to try to make your balance better so that you're moving that foot more and more into a straight line. But you can do this if you need to for balance. Okay. Keep doing that. How's that fat feeling? Are you breathing fast and hard? Everybody just looks very serious. They're probably thinking, when is this going to stop? When will it stop? All right, I'm thinking of another good one I want to give you. So what we'll do is let's do this one. Let's do the squat. So we have one that has a squat in it. So we'll do the squatting one. We'll see how that goes. People don't usually like the squat. So the key on this one is I'm going to show it to you. I'll show you on one side and I'll explain as we're going and I'll show modifications for it, okay? So we can go, it's going to come up here like this. So I'm coming out into a cat stance right here. And I've got my hands right here next to each other. And then as I step out, I'm going to open my arms up wide. This opens, you can feel it stretching the chest. And then I'm going to come back here and I'm going to step out here with my toes out. And I'm going to bring my hands to my knees and I'm going to squat down. Now, if you can't squat real low, when you come to this position, just flex your legs to where you're comfortable going to. There's no need to put unnecessary stress on your knees, trying to go further than you can go. We don't want you to get down here and go, oh, I can't get back up, right? So, so just go down to where you're comfortable and then step back together. All right. So we go 1, 2, 3, and 4. On the other side, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, keep doing that. I want to watch you guys do it. I want to see the serious look on your faces. Thinking, oh, I wish I were kicking again. Ugh. But it's a great exercise, isn't it? And you're not jarring your body. You're not getting any unnecessary impact. Here's another thing, another way of playing it. I showed you how to play it with speed for aerobics. And we talked about how to do it with dynamic tension for anaerobic workouts. Now, how about this? You know, let's go to this one. When we do this right here, we're holding this position, then we punch the ceiling, and then we punch out to the side and step back together. How about this? I'm going to show you something else. This is really good. This is good if you've got osteoporosis. If you play the form this way, and I'll explain why in a minute. But all you're going to do is you're going to just step out and hold this position. You don't have to exert any force or anything, just the force of holding your body in this position. And I'm dropping into my horse. I'm flexing my legs, see? And then I put my hands up and I'd hold this for a while, just holding it. And then I would come down and I'd push out and I just hold this position for a while. You know, maybe you can hold it 10 seconds or 20 seconds. Maybe you can hold it 30 seconds or maybe a whole minute. And you step together. Now, what's happening is you're putting a load on your skeleton. And there's a thing called Wolff's Law. There was a doctor maybe like 100 years ago named Julius Wolff. And he found that when you put load on something's skeleton, the bones remodel up. They become denser and they become stronger. Conversely, if you stop doing it, if you stop doing those kinds of exercises, your bones will remodel back down and become osteoporotic again. But the idea is to put load on the skeleton. When you put load on the skeleton, you'll improve your bone density. Okay, so remember, that's another way of playing this, is just stepping out and holding positions. And you can do that with anything. You know, if I want to put it on my skeleton this way, I could be standing here, I could be reading a book, but I'm in a horse stance. I could be reading a book, or maybe you're having lunch. I know it sounds crazy, but Gene can tell you, you know, I'm having breakfast in the morning and I might be in a horse stance, or I might have my leg up on a pretty high counter or something. And stretching and or putting load on the skeleton to increase bone density. So, Gene's, yeah. So, so that's a benefit from that. Okay. Now there's going to be a replay, as Rick had mentioned earlier, and I'm sure he'll mention it again, tell you where to look for the replay. It's live streaming right now on Facebook and YouTube, but he'll have a recording of this up so that you can go back and refer to it. Okay. Now, what we'll do is, remember that I sent you the message and I told you to have some sticks ready. I want to do a little bit of homework, okay? I want to do some Baton exercise with you guys. Typically, you know, our thing, there's a lot of other benefits to this. There is just the exercise of swinging the sticks around. There is, you know, strengthening the hands. There's also neuroplasticity. It's working your brain. It's getting your brain to think of doing something that takes a little coordination. You're going to be doing this in a minute as well. This is just a figure 8 from side to side. Make sure that you're in a safe area so that you don't take out any lamps, ceiling fans, furniture, innocent bystanders, pets, or anything like that. Okay, so make sure you got room. You need a perimeter around you. All right, so I'm going to assume you all have your sticks. It's all in a safe place. Oh, look, hey, it looks like I see some safety sticks maybe, right? Very good. It looks like you bring a plane to land. So, all right, so we're gonna, Amanda's had a little jump on you guys because we've been doing some of these exercises in her class. Well, so we're gonna stand, but we're not standing a riding horse. We're gonna have you just stand differently because while we're swinging the stick around, I don't want you to hit your legs. You know, while I'm doing this right, if your aim bad, as you come around here to do this rotation, you can clip this leg. So we don't have to do that right now. You can do it this way, but I don't want to deal with it right now. I'm going to have you stand in called a walking stance or a bow and arrow stance, so that the left leg's in the front, the right leg's in the back, and now there's nothing in the way on the sides. So here's how we're going to do. We're going to start off. I'm just going to rest my right stick on my shoulder, and I'm going to bring the left stick right over here like this. So I've got my left stick right here. This one's just out of the way. It's on the shoulder right now. Now there's a pattern for this position, but I'm not going to do the pattern. I'm going to do a figure 8. This is a figure 8 pattern. So this hand is going to now point straight forward. So this one's pointed straight back. This one's pointed straight forward. That's where we're going to start from on the right side. The right hand top, it's facing forward. The left hand's on the bottom. It's pointed back. Okay, so now here's what's going to happen. This is going to be really this is going to be real chunky. This is going to be real kind of square or choppy. Choppy is a good word. So hang on just a minute. Hold that position. Don't move. I have somebody here. Oh, it's Ryan. Okay, I'm letting Ryan in. I'll be right back out. Hey, Ryan.
Good morning. I finally made it. Sorry for being late.
Hey, Ryan. From one workout to another, right?
Gosh, sorry about that.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I was doing a little segment. I'm starting another segment. And I'm almost done with my section. I'm doing some baton work right now. So if you got some batons with you, you can join in with it. So,
Oh, okay. I'll go grab something.
all right. So Ryan's done stuff. So we can hit. He's be 1, 2, 3. So one thing, we got the left from the bottom, one to the way to the else, and it's hang on. You just hold that position that you're in. So you're getting some load on your skeleton. So I'm helping you remodel your bones. Hey, Art. Welcome. I just see his icon. He'll be on here. All right, so the rest of you guys, we're in this position. Now what I'm going to have you do is all you're going to do is you're going to carry your arms from the right side here. You're going to go over to the left side. And on the left side, we're going to open them up. And then we're going to fold them over. So now the right's on the bottom, the left hand's on top. Okay. Now we just go back to this side. This is very choppy. It's going to get smooth after a while. Now then we untwist the arms And I continue that motion to here. I go to the other side, see if they got it. So all we're doing, Ryan, is we're doing a figure 8 with 2 batons. Good. So why don't you guys keep doing that? Are you on, Art? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there you
Yeah,
are,
I'm just
Art.
getting dialed in.
Good morning. That's okay. Good morning and welcome. We're doing some baton work, so I'm pretty sure you probably got some batons. So grab a couple of batons, couple sticks of any kind. Yeah. Snap off a couple of table legs or something like that. Not a table that your wife likes. Okay, Ryan, this will be easy for you, I'm pretty sure. So all we're doing is we're like doing a figure 8 with 2 batons. So I'll show you real quick what we're doing. Got the left, we're starting on the right side. This is going to be really choppy. The goal is to have this fluid movement like this. But we're starting off really choppy. So we've got the left hand at the waist. The baton is pointed back. The right hand is on top and the baton is pointing forward. So all I'm going to do is bring it to the other side and I untwist and then I continue that motion, rolling it back up. And then I go to the other side, untwist and roll it back up. You've probably done this probably with a number of weapons. This is kind of like a universal movement. You do it with a staff, you do it with swords, you do it with chain whip, you do it with so many different things. No, but Art's not saying anything, I don't think. Are you there, Art?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, yeah, he's there.
We don't have a picture.
Yeah, we don't have a picture on you yet. Is
Yeah,
that pretty? Is that pretty good, Ryan? Yeah, you got it. You got it. Yeah, this is easy for you. All right, very good. So some of you guys can probably feel, it's good coordination exercise. And once you get familiar with it, it's a good exercise. Now, one thing we can do with the batons also, just to, I'm going to experiment, see what happens with this, okay? If this crashes and burns, I'm just going to go to the next exercise because I don't want to spend a lot of time on it because I want to pack in what I can with you while I can. We're doing a down strike and a down strike and a down strike and a down strike, okay, with this movement. But it's also possible that I can completely reverse this movement and I can do an up strike, an up strike, up strike. So I don't know, I'm kind of thinking maybe we'll stay with the down strike because yeah, I can look on people's faces. So yeah, let's go with that one, okay? We'll come back to that one of these days. I'm sure Ryan and different teachers can vibe with this. You see something and you're like, oh no, we're gonna skip this one. So I'll show you another good one. It's really good though. You'll like this one. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this right one. I'm gonna put it on my right shoulder. And I'm gonna bring this left one right where it was before, right? This is gonna have 6 counts, okay? So from this position right here, what's cool too is I can do something with this hand. If I hold this stick right here, I want to grab something, I can hit and then come back and take my stick and use it, do a butt stroke. See, from this position, I can also do butt strokes. Do a butt stroke. From here, I can do butt strokes, butt strokes. I can hit to the rear, hit to the rear. So, but we'll explore some of those later. What we'll do right now is I'm going to do the 6 count. So from this position right here, we're going to go 1, and to the other shoulder, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we got 6 counts, and it ends us on the mirror image on this side over here. So you can go back the same way, but instead of going back the same way right away, let's do this side a few times. So we're going to go, we're loaded up on this side. The right stick is up here at the right shoulder. The left stick is down at the left side of the body, the waist. And so we swing out to make contact. 1, go to the shoulder. 2, the bottom one swings out. 3, and comes into the cradle. 4, the top one hits out. 5, and as this one hits out, notice that this one slides up. And then 6 to the waist. Okay, let's do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is a nice pattern. Incidentally, you can do this with knives. You can do this with short swords. You can do this with long swords to an extent. And all of these things you can make modifications to adapt it to different weapons or different hand movements. Even this can be done with empty hands also. Okay, so back to the right side. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Reload. To the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to look and see if I can let you guys run solo. See if I see any people with bewildered expressions. Next, you got very good. I use little tools over the last year. I've seen the need to use different kinds of tools. So I'm going to show you some right here, and I'll do this from 2 different angles. This is just a PVC stick sticking up here. You can see one stick sticking out here. That's for other things. We won't use that part right now. We won't use this either. I'll move that so it doesn't distract you. So from this position right here, these are the hits. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could hit with that. It's just moving up into position right here. When I'm over here, it's just moving up. But it was there, so I wanted to hit it. So let's do that again. And think about that there's something right here you're hitting. So as I'm swinging through, sometimes people don't think about that they're hitting something right there. We get very fluid, and so we're just doing this. But sometimes play what you're doing at different cadences. There's that rhythm form again, that cadence. So look at your cadence, change your cadence sometimes. When you change your cadence, you can get more things out of what you're doing. You know, even just being right here, if I'm close to the stick, I can practice just a butt stroke like that. Oh, I broke his arm. Then I can do one to the head. Oops. Oops. At least I'm accurate.
Or you sheared that off.
Let me stick that back on there. I didn't mean to hit it quite that hard.
That was 3D.
Okay.
It came straight out.
So these, these can be, you can just do this as an exercise right here. Well, with hitting this. So, and it'll work your accuracy. It's important to be accurate. This is maybe about the width of a quarter. You're hitting into a small area. So it keeps you on target. You don't want to shoot out here like the guy's right here. He's like, and smacks you. But also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's really a lot of self-control not to hit it with this one. Maybe we have to go back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, if it's easy, you can go back the other way too. Everybody's different, and it's okay if you need to focus on one side. If you want to fluidly go to the other side, you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I think that's pretty easy. I'm going to watch you guys do that. I like to hit something. Well, I like to hit something, but I like to hit something and give you a example of doing. So I'm going to watch you guys now. Very good. Ready? A couple. You got a hammer, and I don't know what that other thing is. What's that other? Oh, it's rubber. Okay. Good. Good. Improvisation. I like that.
So I think I had of the drawer. Just pull it out of the drawer.
It'll work. Sometimes you have to use what you find, right? She's here like she's bringing in a plane to land. The pilot's probably going to be going, what kind of signals is that? Looks like she's trying to hit us. And Richard's going, you don't know the half of it. I'm not to be hit over here.
I made Richard put grips on my stick, so they're tennis grips.
For women.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, that's what I have
No,
going
Richard,
on
I
here.
thought those colors were for men. Very good. Good job. All right. Any questions on that? Ooh, this is weird. I'm looking at your screen art. I see myself over there on a big screen. That's right.
I'm mirroring it. Change that position.
It's like
Yeah,
I'm
I
looking.
wear
I'm
my
like, hey, who's
glasses.
that?
I can show the
Hey,
big
that's
screen.
me. That's me. I don't blame you.
No problem.
That's a good
There we
idea.
go.
No, that's okay. I was just goofing around. You should know me better than to take almost anything I say literally.
No,
You don't
yeah,
have
I was
to
gonna.
change you have to change the screen.
I was trying. I'm on a Zoom
All right,
meeting. So
so I've kind of been running over an hour right now. So what I want to do is I want to pass the figurative baton on to somebody else. So who wants to go next? Do Rick Zanotti or Ryan Steele?
I can
Ryan,
go next if you
You want
want.
to go?
I'll go.
All right.
Who's going?
Either one. No preference.
Huh?
Rich, I can go next if you want.
Okay, I'll go next.
You want for Ryan? Or Ryan? I know Rick's got to go someplace at noon. So why don't we have Rick go next?
That's good.
Is that okay?
Yeah. Am I on?
All right. Okay, so I want to turn it over to Rick. I kind of gave Rick an intro earlier. He comes kind of down from the same kung fu line. He's had other kung fu teachers, but his instructor was Ralph Shun, who was an instructor under R.Q.E. Wong, and my instructor was Sifu Gilbert Bates, and he was under R.Q.E. Wong, and he also was a student of Mairu Chang and Dr. Tania Wu. So, and I'm sure I'll just bring Rick on, and Rick can kind of give you his pedigree. And thank you for working with me. I will continue to be here. And so, Rick, you want to take it away?
Sure. Hi, everyone. And thanks, Rich. So anyway, today, I'm Rick Zanotti. I've been doing martial arts since I was about 10, unofficially 7, but really 10. So it's been a while. And one of the things we're going to do today is more on the Tai Chi side, just to talk about some things that usually aren't discussed that much in Tai Chi or kind of neglected. Or some people don't even know. They're simple things, but they're things that will improve not only Tai Chi, but it'll also improve your Kung Fu or whatever you do, any kind of movement. A lot of it has to do with alignment. A lot of it has to do with something I've talked about in other sessions that we've done with Richard, and that's the 3 harmonies, which would be hands, feet, elbows, knees, and the waist kind of controlling everything. So what happens when we do this, and what we're going to do today is kind of do the first section of a Tai Chi form. Consider it a Yang or Yang style, but it's kind of a modified Yang. It's closer to an older Yang style. And it's a little more modified also to add some elements of Wu style. And I do this because Wu style does their hands like this. And there's a reason for it. In fact, in all Tai Chi, really we're working with our organs, our meridians, our acupuncture centers. So as we do things like this, we're actually pulling here, which is lungs, also headaches, but for your lungs. So when you do these kind of movements and you're pulling gently, you're actually working the whole lung system, so your heart, lung, and so very good healing arts. So that's why a lot of people say Tai Chi is very good for healing, for health, because not only are you moving, but you're also doing some things to make sure that you're moving and your energy is moving with you. So what I'd like to do today, and if you have anybody have any questions in general about Tai Chi, if we want to start out with some questions. If you're in Zoom, you can ask out loud because we've got the audio. If you're on YouTube or Facebook, type it in the chat and we can answer any kind of chat that there is. Nothing yet? Okay, let's start. Out here? Okay. All right. So let's start with Tai Chi. We're going to start the form. Follow along if you can or if you want to. So we're going to start with the basic movement. So we've got 2 angles in case you need to see, but basically you start, never collapse yourself when you do Tai Chi. Don't go like that. Just always loose, kind of like a policeman walk, where they kind of walk like this. Make believe you've got maybe a tennis ball under your arms, so there's always a little bit of distance. Hands relaxed. Knees not straight back, just ever so slightly bent. And so the first move in Tai Chi, you breathe in through stomach and diaphragm, and then you kind of bend down. You're just slightly bending the knee, and you step out to the side. Now, hopefully you can see my feet. I think you can. So as you step, that's a simple move. All you do is you bend, you lift, step. Be careful with that kind of thing because you're getting off balance. Just bend into it, step out, and then just step out. So now your knees are just slightly relaxed, arms here. And the first movement, you're going to lift. And we're going to get a little dynamic with the hands. Don't keep your hands numb. You see a lot of this today. Gently pull your fingers open. When you get to the top, turn your palms. Fingers are pulling a little bit. Feel your middle finger, your index. Feel your fingers just gently pulling out. And then as you exhale, again, we're sitting down a little bit. Try it again. So from here, you step out, Breathe in. And out slowly. Now, first harmony. My hand is going to guide my foot. If you notice, my hand's here, foot straight across. As I move my hand, it's pulling the foot. So you're a marionette right now. You've got strings. So I move it back. Think of that. You're moving. I'm shifting my weight. As I shift, I'm going to hold the ball. So as I hold the ball, I lift my rear heel. The left hand is pulling the foot again, the heel. You step out. And now the waist opens everything. Arms aren't moving, really. It's the waist that's moving them. Arms are just spreading out. So if we do that again real quick, we start from standing, bend a bit, open, just relax. Breathe in. Your gaze should be probably, think of it about 40, 50 feet in front of you, looking slightly down, not up, not down, just kind of a relaxed, straight gaze. Down. The hand moves, pulls the foot. As I switch my other foot, my heel comes out. You can see the heel. Step and open. Again, shoulders relaxed, back straight, your head as if you're being pulled. Notice as I pull, my legs go up. So again, we're working connections in the body. Here we go again. I'm going to move my body. My right elbow is moving my foot, actually. And I'm holding the ball this way and coming back up. You can probably see that in the other camera where I'm winding up. I'm going to block. My waist is moving things. So from here, my waist. So it's block, block, just like Kung Fu or anything else. Block, block. This is pulling back. My knee is going back. And I'm pushing. So we're going this way, pushing. We pull back. And now I'm bent. Knees are bent. I'm bringing the hands down and pushing down. And then pushing up. The leg is pushing. So the leg is pushing up. Not straight back, just kind of relaxed. Kind of cupping the palm a little bit. You can do your fingers open. Again, that's pulling the lungs. Let's try that again from the beginning. So we're gonna, any questions, by the way, at this point?
Nope.
Okay. Gonna bend down, turn, and then lift. Pull with the fingers a bit. Go down like a big volleyball or beach ball. Hand guides the foot. You're holding big ball. Step. Then your waist opens up. I'm going to turn. My left foot is being pulled. I'm holding a ball again. Step. I push. I block. I block. The left hand comes back. I push. I notice on the push, I kind of go down and come back up. I pull back and we come back up. So this is an uprooting kind of movement. If somebody were in front, you push them up, knock them off balance. Now, next move, again, I'm going to go like this. I'm going to brush away like, So you're going to brush, but as I do it, now my right hand, or the left hand, if you will, is pulling my foot. Pulling my foot. I come up, crane speed. I don't sink my arm, keep it open, and I step out, and I'm in single whip. I can also step out and bring the other foot. You can do both. Let's try it from here. I'm going to turn, and notice as I turn, I'm elbowing, pulling the back foot, elbowing, holding a ball, stepping, push, block, block, and push. Now, pull back and up. Turning, I'm moving my right foot. It's being pulled. Opening, I step out, and I open. Now from here, I'm going to turn. Notice, as I move my left, my foot goes with it. I'm going to drop both hands and pull the right foot up. Okay. Let's try it again from here. Here. Turning. Holding a ball. Step. Block or deflect. Block. And push. Pulling back. Sinking. Coming up. Now, I swipe away. I come up. The foot move with my hand. I turn. And again, foot is following my hand. Come down. Hitting arm, elbow. Turn. Now I'm holding a ball again, and I open. Cat stance. And I don't expect you to learn this all right now, just to get familiar with the moves and the feel of it. So as I come back up, I step. My waist is moving the hand for the most part. So if you try that movement, just move your waist. It's called brush knee. You're brushing across your knee. And a palm strike. Okay? You're going to grab. You're going to lift your back leg. And you're pulling back and up. So this comes up, foot follows the hand. I'm going to come back around. My waist turning. I step again. And I do the same move as before. Any questions to this point? And remember, not to learn the whole thing. Tai Chi takes a while to learn. Just to get a feel for some of the little nuances of the movement.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Rick, Ray, it's kind of hard sometimes to follow, like when your back is turned, because we're turning, then we're turning our head, and then we're getting our feet reversed and everything. it just feels a little awkward.
Yeah, we have two cameras, but one's kind of a side view and one is the front view. Let's try it this way. If I come this way, as if you're following me. So this time I'm going to go down, step out, and then raise the arm. Come down. Foot follows the hand. Holding a ball. Stepping out. Now I turn. Left foot is following the hand. Hold the ball. Block. Block. And push. Pull back. The waist is pulling back. The hips are going in and uprooting. So you're coming up. Now we're going to wipe away. And then we step out. We come back this way. I'm going to scoop up, hold the ball again, and then open up. Blocker hit. Come across. My waist is turning. And again, the waist is moving the hand. I'm going to lean forward, grab, and come up. So from here, lift my back leg, pull, come back. Same move. Now I'm going to lift this hand up and kind of looks like, again, like a crane beak. Put the other one over it and press. Lift, lift, step, push with your shoulder. Now you're coming back and punch. You're going to lift, push, come back, circle, circle block, punch. Come back. Here, you're kind of grabbing, relaxing, and we'll finish. So that would be a first section. So we started out just moving gently, hands guiding, moving. So let's do a simple exercise just so you get used to it. Again, this wasn't for you to learn the form because it takes a while to learn every little nuance and get the feel for it, and nobody can really correct it. It's a little harder on Zoom. But put your right hand out and move, and then move out. Bring your foot in, bring it out. So the waist is turning and going back. Circle, foot follows, and back. Circle, foot follows, circle, back. So you're creating a circle and the foot's following that circle. I think on that camera, you should be able to see the feet moving. So if I go other side, and the waist is moving the arm. If I stop, the waist moves it. And of course, we can do it with both. The whole idea is to have the hands move the feet and the elbows loosely align with the knee, so that you've got those kind of movements going through. Now again, what we're doing is we're trying to move not only our body, our muscles, but also our energy. So as we're breathing in, the breath is quiet through your nose. All breathing is through the nose. You're going to relax, not or not. You just want to slowly you breathe out. And as you do your moves, everything is aligned with the movements that are going on. Up, pull, push, up. Not a lot of room here. Push, back. So that's a little bit faster. But no difference if you're doing a Kung Fu form. As you move, block, hit. Same thing. Your feet are aligning, they're following. Feet follow, lift, so that your moves follow the alignments. No real difference. One goes faster, one goes slower. Any questions on that?
No, great stuff.
A lot of times in Tai Chi training, and here's the way I teach it. By the way, if I sound a little out of breath, this room is a professional studio that we have in our offices, and it's got a lot of fiberglass in here. You can't see it from here, but it's got sound dampening all over the place. As a result, it gets dry in here, really dry. So when we do anything, it's like, we start trying to get rid of that feeling. If we're in the room too many hours, we feel it. That's normal of any sound studio many times. Some have rubber, different, but the fiberglass absorbs sound and moisture, it seems. Plus, it's Southern California, so it's dry. So anyway, when you learn Tai Chi, don't worry if you have every move right. You won't. It takes a while. It takes practice. So as you start learning the moves, try to remember the moves. Later, when you learn the moves, then you start perfecting them. Then you start worrying about, how's my alignment? How is my movement? Are there little muscles in my center moving? For example, Tai Chi can make you very strong internally without having to do a lot of sit-ups. And people go, that's impossible. But no, if you can really, that's from Tai Chi practice. You can make yourself pretty strong. The internal energy that you move creates a lot of strength in your core. Because again, your mind is moving the parts. So for example, my mind moves it up. Try that. Try lifting your arms up and bringing them down. Lift. Pretty easy. Not much mind involved in just lifting up and down. Now slow it down. Stretch the fingers. Have to think a little bit more. Bring it down slowly. Bring it up again. You feel the difference when you slow it down? Now your brain needs to be more engaged. The movements take a little concentration. You go up, that's fine. But this doesn't have a lot of power either. You're just moving. When you start combining the whole intention of the body on a move, whether it's a hit or, you're moving and punching. That you can, if you just align things, all of a sudden you're generating a lot more power. You're also getting your body coordinated. So the body, feet, hands, everything starts moving the way it should. Any questions on that? By the way, this applies to really anything, whether it's ballet, yoga. Yoga is a little bit different, but because yoga is more about holding, stretching, though there's a lot of aerobic yoga. Now, that's not really yoga. Kung Fu, Tai Chi, any martial art follows the same principles, karate, taekwondo. The alignments are usually very similar. The approach may be a little bit different, but the way you actually do the moves eventually will be the same if you're looking for the same physical alignment, the same power. If you throw a punch and there's no hip in it, well, if you have big biceps, big triceps, you can probably get a pretty strong punch, but it won't be that strong. The minute you put your waist in it, now you've got a lot more power. When you start coordinating the waist with the hand, elbow behind, push back, all of the parts of the body wind up in their natural alignment. So the whole idea is if you can have a natural alignment, you'll have natural strength. Speed will be better because, again, the body starts working in harmony with itself. What do they say? When we're born, we're like, we're very flexible, everything moves. And then we get taught how to be stiff, how not to work well. Oh, I can't move. You got work, you got this, that. And as we get older, we have to relearn how to be a baby, which is sort of funny if you think about it. Sort of pathetic if you think about it, but that's our lives. So ideally, if you can keep that youngness in you, no matter how old you are. And by the way, I'm close to 70. I'm 3 years from 70. So you can keep yourself young so that when you move, your moves still have an explosive nature or a powerful nature without having to really think about it. The more you practice, I've had a lot of students throughout the years, and they always say, how come we can't do the form like you do? How many times have you practiced it? Once a week. That's why. It's because if you don't practice anything, you'll never be good at it. You may be okay, you may be mediocre, but to be good at something, you've got to practice. Practice until it becomes second nature. That's the key. Any move you do, it's just second nature. A lot of these forms that we do, whether it's Kung Fu or karate or Tai Chi, are pretty useless in a fighting situation if you don't know, one, how to use it, and two, you can't improvise when you need to use it. Because you don't know if you're ever in a situation where you have to defend yourself, what's coming at you. You may have an idea, but until it hits you many times, it's like, ooh, that hurt. How do I block that? You want to keep aware of that. You want to flow. So a lot of the forms, a lot of the movements are about flowing, getting yourself aligned, getting the body used to it, getting the brain used to reacting in a certain way. Once you react in a certain way and you make it a habit, you don't have to practice that much. You start living it. You start being it. I had a student once who came from Mexico actually to visit, and he trained for about 4 or 5 years, actually probably over 5 years. He would come up about 4 or 5 times a year, spend many days. His name was Hector, and Richard knows him. And Hector practiced like a maniac. He had done a little over 15 years of Kung Fu and martial arts before I met him. And he would always say, we would do techniques, and invariably he wound up on the floor, and he would say, he would always call me Master Rick. It's like, that's okay. And he goes, Master Rick, how do you do that? I go, practice. Oh, and he was a guy who did 15 MMA fights, mixed martial arts fights, where he won all 15 by knockout. But his brain was still limited to the move, not the flow. He was very good at what he did, but the flow, the attack, he was going, okay, I have to attack you. And that was our first meeting. I said, you can attack me any way you want. He immediately went for my knees. Well, that's easy. I stepped back. He's like, tries it again. I step back. We did that a whole message time. But by the way, when I stepped back, I also hit him. Boom. On the back. Boom. So that was spread eagle him. Okay, let's try it again. That's the same move. And I'm thinking of Einstein. What is this? What is the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over and over, expecting a different result. That was Hector. And I was going, why does he keep doing the same thing? So after a while, I got bored. So as he started coming this way, I didn't go back. I went forward. That really threw him for a loop, because now he's got his full energy coming this way, and I'm blocking it this way. So what happens there? Well, now it's the movable force hitting a movable force, but one doesn't know what's coming at him, the other one does. That's knowing how to flow. You just feel the situation. Somebody's coming at you, there's a tendency to go back. But if you go forward, that usually stops whatever is happening, because people don't expect that. And that's like anything in life. People get aggressive. Look what's been going on with the pandemic stuff. Everybody's been holed up, tied up, so they're all irritated. They want to vent. I see it on the roads right now. People are driving way faster than they used to, probably because they're fed up. They don't want to be tied down. They don't want to be encloistered in a home or whatever. So you're starting to see those little signs of chinks in the armor. Oh, the armor is breaking there, because people have to let it go somewhere. But as a result, that kind of behavior is actually easy to counter if you have to, because it's an emotional behavior. And when people are emotional, they're not usually in great control. They're losing control of whatever they want to do. And it's not just fighting, it's life. Life in general, how you take something. If somebody comes up and screams at you, what do? You could listen and wonder what's wrong with them. You could pay attention to what they're saying and then still say, what's wrong with them? Or you could do something if you're threatened, or if you have to. Many times doing nothing is okay. If somebody's really loud, what do? You lower your voice. You calm down. If you bring something up to the level of aggression or angst or pain that somebody has, now both of you are in that zone. Who wins? No one. Most likely than that, the only one who's going to win is the one who's either meaner, tougher, more ruthless, or jerkier. Not a good situation. But if you can deflect that energy coming at you and relax it, if you can absorb it and just get rid of it, now that's going to change the outcome. So all martial arts are basically to help you get better at what you do. But it's also about learning how to move with someone, with something. Energy's everywhere. Energy comes at you. Energy goes away from you. Your energy comes and goes. What you do with energy coming at you, and it could be emotional energy, physical energy, a car coming at you, what do? How do you react to that? That's what we train for life. The rest is fun. You can have a good time practicing anything. I knew a ballet dancer. She was really funny. She was a professional ballet dancer. Her name was Diana. She was with some of the more professional groups in the world. She danced with some major ballet groups. And she taught me how to stretch better when I was younger. I was in my late teens, and I thought I was pretty flexible in full splits. And she goes, nah, you're doing it wrong. Huh? Yep. She goes, you're not using your muscles correctly, so you're going to hurt yourself. And she taught me how to stretch correctly. But her goal in life is she could grab a walnut, put it right here, and crack it. That's a feat, by the way. Not easy to do. I've tried it. And she could do that anytime, any day, anywhere. She goes, I'm a human nutcracker. Think of the possibilities. She thought it was funny. And it was sort of, but it was showing what she could do with control of her body without any effort. all because her ballet training was so good. To get good at anything, you do it over and over and over again. The more you do it, the better you get at it. Remember how you were in school, elementary school or high school or college, and you took math. How much of that do you remember today? Unless you use it, probably not much. You'll remember bits and pieces of it, but can you remember it all? I took 4 years of calculus, advanced algebra, and I barely remember it. I remember bits and pieces. That was 40-something, over 50 years ago. And so I haven't used it that much. Logic, I'm okay with, but math, not having used that, go solve an equation. Maybe. Go solve a quadratic equation. Don't remember. So it's how often you do something. If you expect the results of somebody who's been doing the same move 1,000 times, when you do it once, it'll never happen. You've got to practice. So whether it's Tai Chi, whether any art you do, practice is what makes you better and perfect. Slowly, nobody's perfect, but it makes you competent. So I'll leave you with that thought. The more you practice, practice makes perfect. There's a lot of truth to that. Any questions?
Great, great stuff.
Hope I didn't put anybody to sleep. But anyway.
No, you're here.
Yep. So anyway, well, that's my thing for today. Hopefully, I can leave you with some ideas of things to get better at what you do. The Tai Chi thing was just to give you an example of the little nuances of moves, of how one move leads to another, how one pulls, one drags, one pushes, and that's how you get good at Tai Chi. And don't worry about it right up front, because it's going to take a while. Practice, practice, practice. I know Richard and I have both been doing Tai Chi for a very long time, and I started when I was about 18 doing Tai Chi, and I really sucked at it till I was 40. I looked good. Everybody thought, "Ooh, look, he does really good Tai Chi," but I was doing it wrong. I didn't have my alignments correct. It was more about looking correct, not being correct, until I had one teacher, Wen Mei Yu, and when I met her, she was about 60. I was 40 at the time. And she goes, "Oh, your Tai Chi no good." Okay. I go, "All right." She goes, "How long you practice?" 1 year? 22. And so, humbling experience. It was a good one. Because she goes, "You suck." Okay, I said, "Okay, you're good. That's true." But in 6 months, I had it. She goes, "Oh, you learn fast. That's been 22 years plus the 6." It just, sometimes you need that pull to let you see something differently. And then when you see something differently, all of a sudden, it makes sense. That's so easy. Why didn't I think of that? Why didn't I try that? Because we're always busy. We're doing a million things, and you're learning a ton of stuff. And then if somebody can correct those little things, all of a sudden you're much better. With very little effort, because the foundation's there. Now it's tweaking that foundation to make yourself much better, to understand the foundation of what you're doing and to apply correctly, not only to your forms, but to life. That's really the goal. I'm glad all you guys showed up, and I'll pass it back on to Richard, and I guess Ryan's going to go on. We unfortunately have to leave by 12, so we're going to film until 12, so hopefully we can get enough time. I think Ryan's got a good hour after me. What time is it, Howard? Okay, we're 11, so Ryan's got a good hour, and then hopefully we can wrap it all up, and we'll put it, it's already on YouTube Live and Facebook Live, but we'll get a recording of it and give it to Richard and everything else. So thanks, everybody. Have a great Memorial Day weekend, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Thank you, Rick. Good job. Really appreciate it, as always. And a lot of really good, interesting stuff to internalize. That's a good lesson. Good lessons there about practice, staying on top of it, and repeating it ad nauseam.
Well, last year, remember last year, or a year and a half ago, actually almost 2 years ago, but both Richard and I hurt ourselves for different reasons. I hurt myself first doing something that was really stupid. It was something a beginner would do, and I was kind of at work. It was a Saturday. My wife was busy, and I was going, what if I'm doing? I'll throw a high kick. And I was on a carpet, and halfway through the kick, I thought, And this is all happening at nanosecond speed. Maybe I shouldn't, because I hadn't really warmed up or anything, and I wanted to kick up high. So I stopped, at which point my momentum, instead of going forward, pulled me back on a carpet. My foot with tennis shoes got stuck, and I twisted my whole body. I didn't fall, which I should have. If I'd fallen, I'd been fine. But I twisted everything. Let's see, pulled my ankle, pretty much severely pulled the ankle, ripped my calf muscles, and pretty much tore up my sciatica. All in 1 second. It was good. So then Richard and I had a bet of who was going to get to splits again first, because we both do splits. So I'm going at it, and then he hurts himself doing the split. And I go, I think we're about even right now. This is good. But yeah, I love Richard, and these are our friend competitions. We love each other. It's like we're helping each other get better, and that's the whole thing. Just make each other get better. But it was so funny. We're both running around going, okay, we're in our 60s. We got to slow this down somehow, because our brains are still probably somewhere around 12. So we keep moving like we did, and the body says, I don't think so. So it's fun. But look at his knee. Look how he got that thing going. Yep.
I always say I might be getting older, but I refuse to grow up.
That's right.
I'm not warmed up. By the way, Rick, I'm not warmed up.
No, you did well though.
I got about 2 or 3 inches.
That's excellent. Yeah. And that's after knee surgery.
Now I can go.
Yeah, and I've had knee surgery.
After knee surgery.
I've got 3 torn ligaments right now. Well, half torn. They don't want to operate unless you're torn. I've got an MCL, an ACL in one leg, and I think a PCL in the other one. So it's like, okay, they haven't broken, so I'm going to just keep going. No surgery yet. And I've had 1 knee surgery after all those years of martial arts. Torn meniscus created by a big German Shepherd dog who jumped at me when I wasn't watching him. He was lovely, 140-pound shepherd that jumped in the air in glee as I was talking to somebody and hit me right in the knee. That's probably what did the initial rip. And then the second one was another German Shepherd we had who jumped at me too. There's a female this time. The German Shepherd jumping thing. But no, I mean, Richard and I have been pretty lucky. After all the years we've both put into this, we haven't had that many injuries. So we're fortunate.
Yeah. I think largely, it's like you were saying, you're listening to that voice, that inner voice, and it suggested that maybe you shouldn't do that. There was this
at the wrong
this
time
conflict between I think between our conscious mind and our subconscious mind, right?
That's right. And the more you do something, it was like we were talking about, the more you do something, the more your body remembers exactly how to do it, or your brain does.
Yeah.
Your body remembers but says no. I don't think so. and that happens. Well, I won't take any more time from Ryan. Sorry, Ryan. It's your turn.
All right. Okay, Ryan, you're up.
All right, thank you very much, everybody. It's funny because when we do these events, I love doing these things with Sufi Mieir-King. Every year, I'd rather be there in person. It's a little bit easier to manage, obviously, than the video format. But whenever we get together, we have slightly different lineage, but it's always amazing to see how much common ground we have, more so the contrast. And I'm kind of laughing over here, not the fact that both of you have been hurt or been injured, but we have more in common than I thought, because I'm actually recovering from ACL surgery myself. I had at the end of November. We all have varying levels of detriment to ourselves. But we love what we do. That's why we keep doing it,
That's right.
Luckily, I had too many injuries in my martial arts career either, so that's why I keep doing it. And Sifu Zanotti, he brought up some other good points. Some really good points that makes it easy for me to build on. I won't have to explain as much because he did a fantastic job with the explanation of things. But one of the key components I got out of his teaching is that long-term consistency, let me try that again. Long-term consistency trumps short-term intensity. So if you practice a set or a pattern once a week, there's no way you're going to be equal to somebody who's practiced, multiple times a day for hours on end for, decades. It's just not going to happen. And like it applies to everyday life, like he was explaining, I take my son, he's 6 now, I have a 6-year-old son. About a year ago, for the last 2 years before everything shut down, I used to take him to music class, and he just learned fundamentals about music, how to read music, notes, that sort of thing. Just for him to socialize with other kids, have a good time. But there was one thing that stuck out to me on the wall of the studio where he was, and because they teach guitar and drums, other musical instruments there, it says, "Don't practice until you get it right. Practice until you can't get it. Don't practice until you can get it right. Practice until you can't get it wrong."
That's good. That's
So
good.
it really resonated with me. I printed that out. I hung it up for some of my students and doing martial arts, and I reminded them it applies to all aspects of life, not just martial arts.
Well,
So,
Ryan, let me interrupt you 1 second, and I'll shut up after that. But one thing people have asked me is, what makes a master? And my answer is simple usually. It's making something difficult look easy. You've mastered it in terms of physical. Something that looks really hard. You know, we do things we don't think about because we've done it so much. But for somebody else, they go, the heck did you do that? How did you do that not making noise? It's just repetition. It's practice, practice, practice. And then you make the difficult look easy until somebody else tries it and goes, this is hard. But it's just practice. That's it. Sorry, all yours.
Oh, thank you. No, that's absolutely correct. A little bit of my background is I took 9 years of Taekwondo prior to getting into Chinese martial arts. When I got into Chinese martial arts, my Sifu Mieir-King knows him very well. He's a little rough around the edges. He's kind of a gruff guy, and he started teaching me Tai Chi Chuan. I'm still not at the level I'd like to be. I'm probably just trying to look good at this point still myself, instead of having proper alignment. But what he told me was, I'm going to look like a 3-legged cat bearing crap on an iced over pond. And I still feel like that sometimes, you know, how he so eloquently put it. Coming from a linear system, seeing the circular motions and the nuance, it's still fairly difficult. It's almost as difficult as being brand new. That's not to say Taekwondo is bad. It's just linear. It's very plain to see. I'm doing, that's a block, that's a punch, that's a kick. Well, you know, what's all this? What's all that doing? And sometimes in my Tai Chi class, I have students come in and I go over teach. I have a friend who teaches Taekwondo. Sufi Mieir-King knows him too. He's brought his class to some of the World Tai Chi event days. Sometimes they see the difficulty in it. They understand the difficulty in it. And so a lot of people who can't see past it, the layperson, it just looks flowery. It doesn't look powerful. It just looks flowy. It's just a dance. Well, when you start understanding the movement, and this goes for all martial arts, goes for anything really, when you understand the movements and what's occurring, you don't need to memorize the movement. You might need to memorize the order in which they go for a set, but the movements themselves, since you understand them, you don't need to memorize it. You don't need to just follow along. And that's what I try to instill into my students is understand the movement, don't just mimic, but understand. And then now all you have to learn is the order in which they go. That kind of segues me into what I wanted to teach today. Something else about Chinese martial arts that I really appreciate is the emphasis on balance. And I don't mean like, like Karate Kid's type balance, balance work life, home life, romance life, that sort of thing. That's important too, obviously. But we train to use both arms, both legs, both sides of your body effectively. I could do a certain movement and it applies for a punch coming at me from the left or from the right, it doesn't matter. Likewise, I can throw an attack equally as well from the left and from the right. So the segment I wanted to teach today is somewhat similar to what Sifu Zanotti was doing. It's plucked directly from the Yang family style of doing the Beijing 24 Simplified. After you log out of this class, if you were to go to YouTube, look up Beijing 24, 24 Simplified, Yang family 24, it's going to be the exact same thing I'm showing you right now. Maybe done a little bit differently. You get 100 people doing Tai Chi, you'll see it 100 different ways, just based on body mass, makeup, height, all kinds of things. But the sequence is called ward off. I call it both sides drill because the emphasis is training on both sides. Other martial arts, they train on both sides too, but it might not necessarily be like one of the main points of emphasis to begin with. But I'll go ahead and demonstrate the movement. First off, I'm going to try to angle this correctly so you can see my body. But it's going to be approximately 5 movements going one direction. Then we transition and we go the other direction doing the same 5 movements. So I'll demonstrate first and I'll break it down. Hopefully my stance, you can't quite see my feet just because the distance involved here. Let me try this. Move my whole setup. Bear with me, I apologize for that. You close up all my gray hairs. All right, go. So to start off, my right foot is going to be roughly 45 degrees to the right corner. I'm holding the ball. I step out, I ward off, reach up, grasp the sparrow by the tail, pull back down, circle the arms, wrist to wrist, square the hips, press, wipe off, roll back, and push. If this looks familiar, it's because Zanotti did some of the same movements. Chase the rainbow, come back around, hold the ball, step out, ward off, grasp the sparrow by the tail, circle, wrist to wrist, square the hips, press, wipe off, roll back, and push. So you can see every movement is repeated from one side to the other. And there's just a slight transition going between. You'll notice as you do this, I chose this because you can do it in a relatively small amount of space. But as you do this, you'll find yourself walking backward. The reason why you're walking backward is because you maintain that stance being open. So we'll go ahead and get started. We'll do a few reps going to the left and a few reps going to the right. And then we'll add a move to the left, add a move to the right, and so on until we get the entire sequence done. Any questions, just feel free to chime in. So I'm going to start off. Right foot, roughly 45 degrees. 45 degrees. Left foot, empty stance. Sometimes it's called cat stance. Right hand on top, left hand underneath to hold the ball. I'll step out, roll onto my foot. I'll shift the weight forward. As I shift the weight forward, I rotate my hips. Left arm comes up. There. So again, I hold the ball. I step out, ward off. Ward off, my arm is circular. It's not hard angles like this, like an Egyptian or something. It's just nice rounded, center, hips are square, right there. Again, ward off, falls down. You'll notice Yang family Tai Chi Chuan is typified by maintaining your posture. My spine should be straight up and down the entire time. 2 more times, this side. Last one on this side. Is the view on that all right? Is everyone clear on what's happening? No questions? Okay, we'll go to the other side now. So again, on my left foot, roughly 45 degrees going to that corner, front right corner. Right foot, empty stance. Roughly 90% of your weight, 10%, 85, 15, thereabouts. Left hand on top, right hand underneath. Step out. Shift the weight forward, rotate the waist. Ward off. As Sufi Zanotti mentioned before, even though the leg is straight, you never want to have it locked. Never locked. Just slightly bent right here. Ward off. Again, hold the ball. Step out. Shift the weight forward. Unwind. Ward off. 3 more times on this side. Step out. Ward off. 2 more. Hold the ball. Step out. Ward off. It's almost like you're throwing a frisbee. But I really want to emphasize is not arm movement. Controlling that is the waist rotation. Controlling that. Last one. Step out. Shift the weight. Rotate the waist. Ward off. Front foot is forward. Right foot 45 degrees. We'll build upon that and we'll add a second move to each side. So from here, right foot 45 degrees, front left corner. Left foot, empty stance. Right hand on top, left underneath. Step out. Shift the weight. Ward off. At this point, you're going to reach up to your left side. Think 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock, left palm down, right palm up. You're going to shift the weight back. Your hips are squared right now. But as you shift the weight back, your hips rotate, your waist rotates, and you bring your arms down. Bring your arms down so they're about parallel to the ground. So again, you just reach up, shift the weight back, rotate, pull down. Reach up, shift the weight back, pull down. The movement itself is called grasping sparrow by the tail. You just reach up, pull down. We'll put it together. Empty stance, right hand on top, left hand underneath. Step out, ward off. Reach up, grasp sparrow by the tail, shift the weight back, rotate the waist, pull down. 2 more times.
Hey, Ryan, Rich, are you hearing the beep? We're hearing there's a loud beep that's been going on and on, making it hard to hear
I've
Ryan.
been hearing that was a sound of somebody recording or what that is. That's not on my end. I hear it, but I don't have anything to be making that noise.
Okay, no, we're not sure where it's coming from.
No, I appreciate you saying that. I don't know where that's coming from either.
Yeah.
Now it stopped.
I don't hear it now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe it was my head.
Because it was just getting in the way of your audio. That's why we brought it up.
And maybe it was my earbud. I took my earbud out for a few moments and I just put it back in.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, it was just electronic beeping, just every couple seconds.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So 2 more times, holding the ball, step out, ward off. Reach up, grasp the sparrow by the tail, shift the weight back, rotate the waist, bring the arms down. And last time, hold the ball, step out, ward off. Reach up, grasp the sparrow by the tail, shift the weight back, rotate the waist, pull down. Are there any questions on what that movement is or what's being accomplished at this point? I can't see everyone. I don't see like bridge right now. I don't know why. Okay.
Nope, I'm good.
What's really nice about that, Ryan, is that Ryan, what's really nice about that kind of exercise is that you're breaking the form into repetitive pieces. It's a great way to learn how to do it over and over, but with just a small set of movements.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. I appreciate you saying that. What kind of prompted me to do that is teaching my friends over the Taekwondo school, because you could break down Taekwondo very easily because it's so linear. It's not to say it's better or worse. It's just that's just how it is. With Tai Chi Chuan, you gotta put artificial pauses in the moves, which makes it a little more difficult to teach, I think, than even just an external method of Kung Fu. So I tried to break it down, but I tried to pull something directly from the set at the same time. But no, I really appreciate your saying that. From someone of your caliber, means a lot to me. We'll go ahead and try it on the other side. It looks like we just have the 3 of us and Ray. So
I don't know what happened.
There are some people on YouTube too.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
We've got 2 more people on YouTube and maybe Facebook too.
Awesome.
Great.
So we'll start with the other side now. Left foot roughly 45 degrees. Right foot empty stance. Left hand on top. Right hand underneath. Step out. Shift weight forward. Ward off. Our hips are squared. We reach up. This time it's going to be roughly about 2 o'clock. Right palm faces down. Left palm's up. Shift the weight back. Rotate the waist. Pull the arms down. Roughly parallel to the ground. Again, just reach up and pull down. This one always kind of reminded me of like hula dancing or something. You know? Just reach up and pull down. Reach up pull down. And now we'll try that with the rest of the movements. So here, holding the ball, left hand on top, right hand underneath. Step out, shift the weight forward, ward off, reach up, grasp the pair by the tail, shift the weight back, rotate at the waist, pull down. Again, 3 more times. Step out, shift the weight forward, ward off, reach up, grasp the spare by the tail, shift the weight back, and pull down. 2 more. Step out, ward off, grasp the spare by the tail, shift the weight back, pull down. Last one. Hold the ball, step out, shift the weight forward, ward off, reach up, grasping spare by the tail, shift the weight back, and pull down. So far, so good?
Yep, good. Very good.
All right, good deal. So the next movement I mentioned before, I mean, very circular. This one's going to kind of continue the circle we just made by pulling the arms down. So we go from our right side. We have our right foot roughly 45 degrees. Our left foot was pointing straight ahead, and we just pulled down. We're right here. All we want to do is just continue that circle to go. We're pulling back this way. We just let it keep going. Notice my palms kind of face each other. They're facing opposite directions, kind of facing each other the whole time. And we just let that circle keep going. And we bring it here so we're wrist to wrist. At this point, we square the hips once again. And we don't move our arms. It's not this motion being the press. It's the weight shift from here. Press down your right foot. Bring your stance forward. There. You want to make sure your knees don't extend beyond your toes. It's just right there. I liken this to when you're swimming in a swimming pool. You're holding on to the edge. You just kind of push yourself to launch yourself out. Or even in a linear style throw punch, you push that from right here. That's the same concept. It's here, here, here. Let's just try that again. We'll go from here, pull back, let the circle keep going, circle, 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 wrist to wrist, square the hips, and press. Once again, pull back, down, circle, 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 wrist to wrist, square the hips, and press. We'll put it all together because we basically just had to add one movement to it. So right here, empty stance, right hand on top, left underneath, step out, shift the weight forward, ward off, reach up, grasping spare by the tail, shift the weight back, rotate the waist, come down, let the hands continue to circle, wrist to wrist, square the hips, and press. Once again, hold the ball, step out, ward off, reach up, grasp the spare by the tail, shift the weight back, go down, let the arms continue to circle, wrist to wrist, square the hips, and press. One more time on this side, hold the ball, step out, shift the weight forward, ward off, reach up, grasp the spare by the tail, shift the weight back, rotate the waist, let the hands continue to circle, wrist to wrist, square the hips, and press. We'll do the same thing on the other side. We'll start off, left foot 45 degrees that direction, left foot straight ahead. We just pulled back right here. Left palm is facing upward, right palm is facing downward. We let that circle around back, palms face each other, wrist to wrist. Left arm is on the inside, left palm facing out, right arm is on the outside, right palm facing toward you. Like this. We square the hips, and we press. We reach up, pull down, rotate the waist, shift the weight back, circle around, wrist to wrist, square the hips, and press. Reach up, pull back, rotate, wrist to wrist, square the hips, and press. Now all together, empty stance, left hand on top, right hand underneath. Step up, shift the weight forward, board off, reach up, grasping spare by the tail, shift the weight back, rotate the waist, circle around, wrist to wrist, square the hips, press. 3 more times. Empty stance, board off, grasping spare by the tail, shift the weight back, rotate, circle the arms, wrist to wrist, square the hips, press. 2 more times. Board off. Grasping spare by the tail. Circle the hands, square the hips, press. Last one. Step up, board off, reach up, pull down, circle the hands, square the hips, press. And now there's just one more move. With the right foot forward, so your right foot 45 degrees, left foot forward. We ended up with a press here. Right hand in front of left, left palm facing you. All we're doing at this point after our press, you wipe off. Wipe off, you roll back. You don't want to lean back, you just want to roll back. Remember, Yang family, kind of straight up and down. Shift the weight onto your right foot. Left toes come up, that's fine. You roll back. Think if you're tracing the contour of a large sphere, large beach ball right here. Come back down, elbows in. Come back down. Shift the weight and push as you come up. So it's from here, wipe off, roll back, and push. The push isn't straight out necessarily. It's trying to break somebody's root as you come up and push at the same time. So my intention is almost going this way. So again, from here, wipe off, roll back, and push. One more time from the press. Wipe off, roll back, and push. You can see how little my arms actually move. I'm not doing this. It's all the weight and the shift of the weight stance there. So we'll piece it together with the other moves we had. An empty stance, right hand on top, left underneath. Step out, board off, grasping spare by the tail, pull back, circle wrist to wrist, square the hips, press, wipe off, roll back, and push. Again, hold the ball, step out, shift the weight forward, board off, grasping spare by the tail, shift the weight, rotate the waist, circle the hands, wrist to wrist, square the hips, press, wipe off, roll back, and push. One more time on this side, hold the ball, step out, board off, reach up, grasping spare by the tail, shift the weight back, rotate the waist, back down, circle the hands, wrist to wrist, square the hips, press, wipe off, roll back, and push. Now back to the other side. We have our left foot roughly 45 degrees, front foot pointing straight ahead. We just ended up with our, and now here, we're in our press. We wipe off, we roll back, come down, and then shift the weight forward as you push. Okay. So again, from here to press, just wipe off, roll back, and push. One more time. Wipe off, roll back, and push. We'll add it to what we have already. So empty stance, left hand on top, right underneath, hold the ball. Step out, shift the weight forward, ward off. Reach up, grasp throw by the tail, shift the weight back, rotate the waist, circle the hands, wrist to wrist, square the hips, press, wipe off, roll back, and push. 2 more times. Hold the ball. Step out. Shift the weight forward, forward off. Reach up. Grasp the arm by the tail. Wrist to wrist. Forward the hips. Press. Wipe off. Roll back. Push. Last one. Hold the ball. Step out. Shift the weight. Forward off. Grasp the arm by the tail. Circle the hands, wrist to wrist. Square the hips. Press. Wipe off. And push. That's basically the entire sequence. I'm going to join it so you can actually do this continuously with one movement. And what you have to remember as you do the movement, it goes along with what Sufi Zanotti was saying. You open your stance at the same time you open your hands. So it's almost like a marionette, as he actually put it. I tell my class the same thing. So that's kind of funny. So we'll piece it together with that. I'm hoping my stance is okay, considering my knee. I always think back, it's kind of funny. There's a very famous Tai Chi Chuan practitioner by the name of Chen Man Cheng. Chen Man Cheng, he's at a level I could only hope to be at someday. But he suffered from polio. This is like 1940s, 1930s, 1940s. And he published a book about Tai Chi Chuan with photographs. So as a result of his polio, he was actually lame on one leg. So when he was photographed, he was doing his stances as best he could, but that wasn't explained in the book. So people who learn from it, from just the photos, just the pictures by themselves, they mimic their stance after his, not understanding that his stance was the way it was because he had suffered some issues with his leg. So I'm hoping that as I do my stances, my knee is okay. So if you try to mimic that, you're not mimicking my injury.
Well, there's a story about a monk who had polio also, and it's where some of the Kung Fu cripple monk forms come from.
Oh, right. Yeah, absolutely.
So you're not necessarily wrong.
Hey, all right. That's great about Kung Fu is it's you can always adapt it. There's always so.
But it looks very balanced on both sides, Ryan.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad to hear that. So right, wrong, or indifferent, at least it's consistent.
Yeah, actually, for having knee surgery, you're moving well.
On our own path.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, and
Ryan,
for knee surgery, Ryan, you look good.
Ryan,
thank you.
this is Ray. I was wondering if you could explain some of the different applications in the form. I can't remember some of them when we used to do it, but I wonder what your interpretation of some of the applications.
Sure, absolutely. Well, the ward off movement itself, that could be used to put some distance between you and the opponent. It could be used as a hard block if you want to think that. True Tai Chi Chuan, we don't really have any hard blocks. It's always a redirection or deflection of energy. It kind of gets into physics there about energy neither being created nor destroyed. So it's just more of a redirection. It could be used to open the opponent up. You could actually be striking with the shoulder at that point. But the one that really resonates with me is the grasping sparrow by the tail. And what that is, that's more or less the way I interpret it as intercepting somebody's arm after they've attempted to strike at you. You're here, you grab it. That's why this hand is on top, this hand is underneath. This one's about elbow, this one's about wrist, and you pull them down, right? Obviously, Tai Chi Chuan, if you fought at the speed in which we're doing, you get massacred, right? So I mean, the actual application is faster, but the power is carried by that rotation of the waist and by the weight shift to the back foot. That's ideally going to pull somebody down. The next movement I see is you still have your arms on them. You bring this part up like this. What that effectively be doing, my interpretation, is bringing this hand back into a lock. A lot of people don't realize the Chinese martial arts employs a lot of joint manipulation, grappling, ground fighting application as well. There's a name for it. It's called Chin Na. And Tai Chi Chuan actually employs quite a bit of Chin Na into it. So it's not just like strictly striking. It's not just a striking art. So that'll be part of that implementation coming back in here. Then you wipe off just to free yourself of their arms, come back, and you just shove them out of the way. Or this could even be a hard strike. You want it to be a hard strike to the floating ribs. That's why you'd be coming back down this way, pull them back down, and then strike them upward after you've locked them, pull them away, and then strike. What I like about Chinese martial arts in particular, and Sufi Mieir-King and I were just kind of talking about that, it's very adaptable. So I trained in a method called Choi Le Fut for a while. I'd be real careful how I pronounce that, fut, right? But we did a lot of twisting movements, and they have specific yells for these twisting movements. So yell for a straight punch would be ha, for tiger claw would be walk, but for a twisting movement would be seek. And seek, I'll just adjust a little bit. It could be something like that, right? And I kicked my son's toy, but it's just here, there, right? Opening that up. But what is that? It depends on where the opponent is. It could be, on his face. It's a hammer fist, inverted hammer fist, boom. But if the opponent's closer to me, maybe it's a elbow strike, or maybe even I grabbed his hand and now I'm breaking the arm. It could be a multitude of different movements. So I'm real careful to say my interpretation of the movement is as such, but other people might have other interpretations, and as long as it fits within the confines of the actual gross mechanics, that's fine. Use it how you need to use it. I have another student who he trained with Master Fumio Demura, and he trained with him like back in the 60s and 70s, and so he comes into Tai Chi class with a very martial application mind, and so something we do like parting the wild horse's mane, for example, it's just right here. He sees that as like an inverted ridge hand. It's like, well, we don't do like hard stuff in Tai Chi, right? But it fits the movement. So it's like, yeah, if you want to think of it that way, that's fine. That works.
By the way, Ryan.
I hope I sort of.
Ryan, you talked about Fumio Demura. You're probably too young for this, but there was a place called Japanese Deer Park in right not far from Knott's Berry Farm back in the at least 70s. And Fumio Demura was the Japanese martial arts act. And he could literally show a front kick and just hold it there for anywhere from 5 to 20 minutes. Just hold it. Or a side kick. I think he locked in place. There was no movement whatsoever. He was built like a tank. And very nice guy. I met him a long time ago. But he did all the acts over there, and he taught a lot of military and others back in the day. But he was amazing to watch in terms of how long that guy could hold a front kick. It was just mind-boggling.
I haven't heard that. I'm actually going to look that up now because I'm
cool.
kind of enamored with the guy.
He's a really good guy. Well, he was also the one who did the Karate Kid. He was the he was the one who did the I guess martial coordination for it.
And that was also him in the skeleton fight.
Oh yeah.
And he used his own skeleton because some of the actors there they were missing their cues. So he said,
hey, Ryan,
we'll do it better.
In listening to you, I was thinking, have you ever tried this? And this is something I learned actually from a different group of people. These were actually not martial artists; they were Sufis, the Afghan or Middle Eastern Sufis, which is kind of a philosophical sect. They're not Muslims. The Muslims don't really like them that much because they think they're weird. But it's an internal set. But they talk a lot about centers, like your motor center, things like that. There was also a Russian philosopher, Georges Ivanovich Gurdjieff, who also did that. He learned with Sufis and others. But there's one thing I applied when I started teaching pretty much full time at one point back in the 70s. And I learned it from a Sufi group. And what they would do is, instead of counting, or 1, 2, 3, 4, or doing it in Chinese or something, or whatever, they use the motor center. So as you stand, when you count, and if you put your hand right like under your belly button, hup, 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 which the Chinese also use in Choi Le Fut and Hungar, the same kind of sound. But if you notice, that tightens up the Tantien, the motor center. That gives you enormous amounts of energy when you do that over and over and over again, and just hup, hup. So every move is like hup, 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 and you're just holding and doing stuff, and it really gives you energy. The more you do it strong. I used to do a kind of a class on forced vigilance. So what it does is it teaches people how to stay aware after 2 and 3 days of no sleep, nonstop walking, nonstop moving around, no sleep. So we would start and hike maybe 20 miles. Go walk around a city, do this, do that. You could eat, you could do whatever you want, but you can't sleep. By the first day, we lost a couple. By the second day, more. Third day, I think 3 of us got through it, and I was guiding the group. And it's the whole idea there is to see how you react to the stress on your body and your brain. And the first part of the exercise, we literally hiked like, I don't know, 15, 20 miles going hup, 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 as we were hiking. Didn't get tired. It kept us going. So it's just interesting. Try it one day. When you're teaching or something, just try the hup. And as you go, you just type. Hup, hup.
Oh, absolutely.
It
You're
gets you
right. I know
going.
the Sufi origin with that, but you're absolutely right. I mean, when I was doing the Trilefut, that was really emphasized, and we really have to be present in the moment to make sure we're not just doing it like from the throat or even from the chest, but real guttural sound, like you said, like dantian, tensing that up. And that's something, you know, obviously real important in Tai Chi Chuan, because you want to maintain that chi flow, right? But yeah, I didn't know the origin of that. The Sufi, that's very, very interesting.
Yeah, very similar to the Chinese, and who knows how much mix there was back in the old days, but it does an incredible job of working you. And you know the old joke about how do you block a Charlie Foot guy? You don't.
You don't, right?
Because when it's coming at you fast and hard, you just better get out of the way.
Yeah, there's so many combinations with that method. It's just insane. But it's funny because it comes full circle, because I've been learning more about my personal studies. Been learning more about mindfulness, and I think just the intentional, I don't want to say key up, but the intentional vocalization and tensing up. I think that all comes back to mindfulness, making your breathing very deliberate. Making your movements extremely deliberate and energizing. It's surprisingly energizing, like Zanotti was saying. It's a way you feel like you've worked out, but at the end of it, you don't feel like you're going to collapse. You feel like you're ready for more.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Because you're moving that Tantian's energy, you're moving that center point, you're constantly activating it. And so the more you do it, you don't really get that tired. It keeps you going. And it's also good to motivate the people doing forms or whatever else, because that sound gets them going too. It's like anytime, that's why coaches tend to scream a lot at people, because it gets them going. And the same thing with that kind of sound, it motivates them to keep moving, to keep doing.
That's another reason why I really appreciate these gatherings, because sometimes I feel like my own development gets kind of stagnant, because I don't really delve into more of the metaphysical or even philosophical points of martial arts with a lot of my students, because it's limited mainly to the physical. But I always appreciate learning more about the metaphysical, about chi flow, that sort of thing. Whether or not you ascribe to the belief, that's up to you. But the way I've always understood it is that the chi follows the circulation, follows the blood, but whereas the blood stops, different points in the body, chakra points, is where the chi can continue to flow, either out of your body or back into your body. And you know, the dantian being the body's physical center and center for chi. So yeah.
Well, Ryan, if you want to try a simple exercise, or anybody in the room who wants to try it, look at your palm and focus your mind on the palm. Just focus, feel the palm. Feel the energy going to your palm. And in a short time, your palm will turn pretty red. As you're activating the blood, you're activating the chi, the energy. I don't know if you can see it in here, but I'm starting to turn red just by focusing on it. And you'll also start feeling the vibration as you focus on it.
And I was a skeptic until I met my Sifu, Tom Farrar. And one of the very first times I went up and trained with him, we were sparring, and I walked into a strike. He did a palm strike on me, like right here. And I was like, okay. He kept going. He's like, whoa, you okay? I was like, yeah, I'm fine. Steve, no problem. He's like, why don't you sit down and have a drink of water? And before he could finish the sentence, I felt like super nauseated. I was like, what the heck just happened? And he said he struck me with just that part of his palm right here. And I'm not saying it was, you know, like Buddha palm or something like that, but I mean, it struck me, and the next morning I was bruised on the back. I'm like, what the heck happened, you know? So that's when I really started. It's like, yeah, there's something to this. There really is something to this. And he was also able to do the same thing, and he kind of waved his palm over my arm, and I kid you not, it felt like somebody just dragging their hand on it. I mean, I felt something, and I don't know if it was my frame of mind or what, but I mean, it was true. I felt something. So it's really phenomenal. You get to that point. And I always
similar situation with my instructor, Gilbert Bates. He had a couple of different times. One time he had thrown a kick at me, and he misjudged the distance. And it was just a very casual movement. It didn't look like it had any power in it, but it looked like he brushed my hip. But I swear it felt like it rattled my teeth. And he was very apologetic about it. And then there was another time when we would get going with each other, you know, just kind of freestyling, throwing strikes at each other. And one time he threw a backhand at me. And so I blocked with a backhand. I threw my backhand up, kind of heard him slap a little bit. And he turned and walked away. We went on about doing different things. And my hand kept stinging and kept stinging. And I looked at it, and I had blood blisters all over the back of my hand, all over the place. And it was so peculiar because, yeah, I heard it. You could hear them pop, but it didn't seem like it would be so strong that I'd have blood blisters all over the back of my hand. So I know what you mean. And he wasn't a big guy either. He was a very small guy. So it's amazing. I kind of think that is indicative of the fact that some of the power we can generate kind of transcends our size, our muscular strength. You know, it's something else.
And I imagine Gilbert Bates was probably very relaxed.
He was extremely relaxed, yeah.
Because that's really the key to generating that force.
Yeah, he did some crazy stuff.
I'm sorry, guys.
That's go ahead, Ryan.
Pardon me?
Go ahead.
Okay, I was just gonna say, I mean, that's the goal. You want to stay relaxed doing all these things. That way you can do it with longevity. Even boxers, you know, they don't want to strain themselves all the time. You know, having this here, that's why they wrap their fists up so much. So they don't have to use their muscles to clench their fist. But it's just amazing how similar we all are, rather than, you know, the contrast, but also just the experience with energy, with chi, if you will. And you start. We talk about internal methods of martial arts and external methods of martial arts, but at the upper echelons of each, they kind of start melting. They're almost going to be the same.
For example, when you practice,
you know, for a while, go ahead, Rick.
No, I was just going to say, when you practice, for example, I remember one of the first things I learned when I was with Ralph Shun, who, again, he taught Five Animal, but he also taught Northern Shaolin and Praying Mantis. He had a reputation for Five Animal, but he did a whole mess of styles when he was in Hawaii. And he would always say, put your forearm out and slap yourself. And see if you get the fingerprints. The whole idea was, the more you did, then he would have put us one guy like this, the other guy slapping him. Pop, pop. Just relax, boom, relax, boom. And invariably in the beginning we had, you know, burn spots, burning marks and everything. But after a while, the pain didn't hurt that much anymore. And you could get through that. So if somebody hit you, it's like, what'd you do? It didn't hurt. It was just training to absorb it. Yeah. Because a lot of times that kind of slap, really, if you slap somebody in the face like that, that really just shocks them. You can stop a fight real quickly with that. And because it's not expected. And the palm can really just kind of rattle your whole head. But that kind of training, while it's a little brutish, works. Because it will, if that's what you're doing, help you understand what the pain is so that it doesn't bother you anymore. You can absorb it. And I think that's part of it. You know, it's not like Chinese kung fu movies where you see the guy having a 2-hour fight scene never ends with no pain. But the thing is, you can take quite a few hits if you know how to relax. And I think that's part of it, relaxing and then absorbing. And then, kind of coming back. It's almost like you kind of constrict a bit, then you relax up again. And you were talking about breathing earlier, how you have the breath in your body. If you get hit, you let a little bit go. So all of that is it's like an absorption. So that as you're getting hit, you're letting air go, and that hurts a lot less because you're absorbing and the air is coming out to relax you. Then you, of course, you breathe in to replenish that. But that's all part of it, how you relax, how you absorb, what you do with that. But ultimately, really, relaxation is one of the keys. The more relaxed you are, the more you can do. And it makes for an interesting practice. And the fun part, like Ryan, like you were saying earlier, half the time you don't know what you're capable of until it happens. And then, how did that happen? Interesting. That gets you, researching again. How the heck did I do that? What was I doing? That happened to be once at a karate school where I was a guest instructor for the day. And one of the black belts, like a second, third degree, he asked, well, is it true Tai Chi people can push? Oh, yeah, you can push someone. So he goes, will you push me? Sure. And I just tapped him. And he went flying about 10 feet into the wall, broke the ballet bar, and I was like, ugh. But I had never done that before to that level. And I went, what the heck? I was on. It was a day where I was relaxed. The focus was there. And then I could do it pretty consistently, but till then, it had never happened. And I went, interesting. Nobody really taught me how to do that. It just came out. And I think that's how we learn and grow also, by our experiments, what we do, how we figure something out, and that curiosity. There's always something we can learn, always. And it's fun. When something new happens, you go, oh, that was cool. How did I do that? Or how did that happen? Let's analyze this. And I know Rich and I have talked about that a lot in the past, but there's a lot of things we can do that we may not even know we can do until we do it.
I was teaching a guy staff one time, and I'm kind of thinking about that as being relaxed and doing things unintentionally. And I had to bring a staff with me, so all I had was a little short. I had let me find one. I had a stick like this, and he had a regular bow staff. And so the section in there where we swing it around the head a few times as we step in. And in the room we were in, we didn't have a lot of room. And my hobo stick, or whatever you prefer to call this, made contact with his hardwood bow staff. And I wasn't really aware of my stick hitting his. I didn't feel anything. But as I looked around at him, it was almost like you could physically see the vibration go up his bow staff. And he had to grab with both hands because he couldn't hold on to it at first. And we were all kind of like, wow, well, that was a thing, wasn't it?
Have you seen, I've seen this before, where somebody grabs a staff and they shake. And depending on the wood, it can break. And then they usually go, because they didn't want to break it. But it can break if you get the right amount of energy in it. If you notice, spears are usually made out of rattan or something else that's flexible. Yep. Because otherwise, you do those quick movements and it can break on you. And I remember, learning spear, the whole goal was when you lunged out, that the tip would be vibrating. So as you stop, the red feathers or whatever you call them, I forgot what, would come out the tassel and just block blood if you hit somebody. But also you had to get the right amount of energy so that it would just open up. And then, of course, the vibration. And some of the spears had little ball bearings in the tip. And I asked my teacher once, this is YC Jang, why do you have the ball bearing there? He goes, if you fight at night, you hear where the tip is. Clever. Yeah, that was clever. I mean, there's a lot of little clever things, but there's usually, not always, but there's usually some sort of reason as why do you do this? And it makes it fun. It just makes it fun to experiment with what you can do and things that you didn't know you were capable of that just somehow happen. And Ryan hit on it earlier with mindfulness. I think it was Ryan who said mindfulness. Because when your mind's engaged, when your body's relaxed, it's amazing what you can do. Okay.
It's funny you bring up the staff as well, because that actually happened to me firsthand one time. I was teaching a friend of mine's son. He's a student of karate and taekwondo, and he had a bow, and the bow was actually fairly thin. It's painted blue. It was maybe that big around, but he wanted to learn a Chinese staff set. And I always joked around, oh, you bring a bow to a gunfight, because Chinese staff is a gun. But, I was used to the gun. We put a lot of energy in it. We call it ging. We put a lot of ging into it, and you can come down, move it like this, boom, and that it's a pliable staff, whereas a bow is more rigid.
Mm-hmm.
I did that with the staff, and the thing just snapped. I was like, sorry, man. But I showed him that with this little bow, and pop. It's like, dude, it goes to show you're not certain what you're capable of until you do it.
Yeah.
I'm like, sorry, a little too much ging in that.
Yeah.
But as far as my segment goes, that was essentially it. I mean, the only other aspect I had was just the conjoined movement, but it's essentially just shifting your weight and changing your stance from one direction to the other. That was the whole of what I was going to be showing today. If we had more time, I'd be showing a little bit more as far as a segment from a warm-up set called Arrow Hand, which is a preface to Lao Gar and Hungar. If you're not familiar, the term Gar or Ga or even Ka, that denotes like family or clan. Mm-hmm. So therefore, Lao Ga would be like Lao family style, and it's just like a standing set that takes about 20 to 30 seconds to do, but it just really emphasizes what we've been talking about already, as far as finding balance, being mindful of what you're doing, and just training both sides of your body equally. But other than that, for all intents and purposes, I think I've finished my segment, Sufi Mieir-King.
And actually, we are.
Great job, Brian.
And I think we're actually right about out of time. Almost 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty good timing.
Yeah. The family styles, we have some in the 5 animal, 5 family, right? So that's the Ga or Gar styles also. Hung, Choi, Leaf, and Muck.
Yeah. Well, actually, everybody pretty much who knew him early on with Ark Wong, he was probably a Hungar guy, foremost and primary. And then, because his cousin is YC Wong, he's a Hungar master up in San Francisco, very good guy. They've been cousins forever. I think YC is still teaching. He's probably in his late 80s by now, or mid 80s. And there's a lot of, if you look at a lot of what Wong does, it does have a Hungar feel to it. And then, the 5 animal is a little bit different. And nobody really knows if that was his own style or it was a derivative, delineated from someone else. No one's really sure. But I'd say his foundation was probably Hungar. That's my theory.
I agree with that. My Sifu's master was Master Howard Lee, and he was a student of Ark Wong as well, and that looks to be the foundation.
Howard Lee was Choi Lee Foot, right?
Yeah.
Beg your pardon?
Wasn't Howard Lee Choi Lee Foot?
He was predominantly a 5 animal, 5 family.
Okay. I thought it was a Howard Lee.
I did train under Doc Bei Wong, who was Choi Lee Foot, but Howard Lee is predominantly like Southern Shaolin.
Okay.
Well, Choi Lee Foot is Southern anyway too, so I know the name is derivative of I'm embarrassed to say I can't remember the originator's name, but he was trained by 2 masters, Choi and then Lee. He named his method after them, and then Phut because he's trained by a monk, and Phut is term for Buddha, so he kind of combined that all together.
Good. Well, we are pretty much out of time. Richard, do you want to close it?
Sure. Well, yeah, I agree with what you guys are saying is that and that's what I really like about the energy in these gatherings. It's very positive, and we also get an opportunity to look at details and movement. You can have movement. You can have only so many kind of movement, but then what I find when I get together with people is they'll give me more ideas and knowledge and information about that movement. It's not really about adding, sometimes I think it's really about adding more movement to what you do, but adding more knowledge to movement that you do. And so again, I think we get, what I love about these gatherings, I think we get into that. I think we get, and so all I can say at the end of this gathering right here is looking forward to the next one. And you know, we'll do them on here as we have to, but I think next year, I think we'll be at a point here in Lakewood where I can actually maybe get a facility and have our next Tai Chi day, our own Tai Chi day. You know, we can, like I had mentioned in one of my messages, this is kind of ours, you know. This is our Tai Chi, Qigong, Kung Fu, whatever we want day. I'll have to go back and look at my email because it sounded like I said something that nice and I'd like to recapture it. But I was close to passing out from tiredness, so got to go back and look at it. But anyway, I really thank everybody for coming and as students taking part. And then I think we as students are even students. We're dance students. And I see for Steele for coming and all the stuff. See for thanks to you and all the conversation we had, the great stuff you taught. And I'm just, all I can say is looking forward to the next one now.
Thanks,
Thank you
Rich.
very much for
and-
having me. Looking forward to next year and in person next year.
Hopefully, yeah. I don't see any reason why not.
Give
All right,
politicians
guys.
a chance.
Yeah.
Thanks again. I sure
Have a good one,
appreciate it.
everyone. Bye-bye. Thanks.
Bye-bye.